Wake up, Woodward. We are starting off your day with a brand new crew. Meet Broder.
I can't control my arms sometimes. My limbs are just kind of flying.
Detroit Kool-Aid.
Fired up!
Y'all got Kool-Aid
I'm
hot.
fired up! But with the Wake Up Woodward crew, he's actually a part of the family.
Flannel Sam.
Ask me about my wiener.
Okay.
Along with JB and KG. Wake Up Woodward gets you all of your Detroit sports talk. Every morning, 8 to 10 a.m. Live on Woodward Sports. A show for Detroit, by Detroit, with people from Detroit. Tell Siri to set an alarm. Because it's time to Wake Up Woodward.
What up, though, people? Appreciate you guys for choosing to kick off your day with Wake Up Woodward. I promise you guys, I love the heavyweights, but I don't know if we qualify on that scale, Flannel Sam. This your boy Brandon there, a.k.a. Detroit Kool-Aid, your credential Pistons reporter and writer for the network. Flannel Sam, the vet of the squad. He is our Red Wings correspondent and our all sports knower. And no, these are not victory shades. Sometimes when you get popped in the eye twice, you got to wear the shades to keep, people from seeing those black eyes. And last night, bro, goodness gracious, that was not a fun time for me as a sports fan.
No, it was not a fun time, and I see it on the screen right now. Guess who must have heard us yesterday? One Mr. Peyton Pritchard.
Oh, my word.
just put up 43, 10, and 5 on over 10 three-pointers and made the six-man of the year race all the more interesting again because Malik Beasley did not play super well, and I understand that Michigan lost in basketball, and some of you are probably waiting for me to go crazy, but we've got too much Lions to talk about today for me to spend too much time on it. I'll just say it again. Sometimes they are the most painful watch, even though they're a 14-5 conference team. Turned the ball over 16 times last night. Maryland turned it over 8.
They cost themselves
it's a tail
loss.
That's the problem. They have these stretches where they're just an absolute eyesore. They have a good record. Thankful they'll be in the tournament, but at this point, I'm almost willing to say whatever team, whatever 11 seed, whatever 10 seed, whatever 12 seed gets Michigan in the first round, I'd be pretty confident. I'll just say that. If I were them, not if I were Michigan. But
and that's one black eye over here. That's the Michigan loss. The other one, the Detroit Pistons, and this one's a little bit different. 123-115 loss, Flannel Sam. I'm just trying to get right to the Pistons. But I will be fair. JBSmooovv, you've been over there cackling all morning just before we talk about the Pistons, and you got on a weird hat over there. What's going on over there in the TD booth, Mr. Woodward Sports MVP?
I mean, all I got to say, it ain't easy being this green, baby. It ain't easy. Shout out to Tom Izzo, man. Getting another one in the trophy case. Shout out. Just shout out. It's just so amazing. Flannel, I'm sorry about your Wolverines yesterday. Hard-fought battle, but couldn't get the job done. And now they got to deal with the final boss whenever it comes to it.
Things are back to normal now.
Well,
They're a basketball school. Go Blue is a football school, huh?
Well, and I promise you guys we will talk more college basketball tomorrow because we got to preview the second matchup. Am I feeling super confident? I will just give you a sneak preview. No, I am not. And JB, I'm sure your confidence is at about 20 out of 10.
He's still smirking, bro. He's been smiling all
he should.
It's just a great morning. It's a great morning.
I have never once denied someone their right to talk shit and my right to eat crow when it's warranted. So JB, if you want to have that big smile all day in the sound booth, or the TD booth, what can I say?
I do salute him, man. That is my guy. It is at least nice to see JBSmooovv at least happy. If there's Spartan fans that you can be happy for, it's the guys here. It's the Platties, it's Spinmo, it is JBSmooovv, it's Sean Belegian. And those guys are fair the other way around. Look, Spinny will do some stuff that'll make you frustrated, because he'll talk the trash with the best of them. But he is so fair with the way that he breaks this thing down between the rivalry. And you know what? I'm happy for you guys. I really am.
And that's the tough part for me because Spenny, he's always fair about letting Michigan fans talk their shit and speak their piece when it's warranted. But that man is a ruthless, lethal shit talker when things go his way.
Legendary,
and it just makes me so mad. But at the same time, I'm like, I can't say anything. And I know today he's going to be on one on BDE in the heavyweights, but he should be. Congratulations to Spartan fans, Spartan alums all over. Don't like most of you as fans, like a lot of you as people. And for those people, I'm extra happy. Yeah, at least for you guys.
Yeah, and it felt like I got jumped last night, tapped into basketball, back-to-back games. Flannel and I were talking about this yesterday, like, man, we got to stay up tonight. And after I got beat up by the Michigan game, then the Pistons game. And that one was different because I kind of felt like, as a fan, I felt like Cade Cunningham. Where's the whistle at? I'm getting beat up. I'm getting the bruises. I'm getting the fouls. I told the people last night, like, I was just kind of posting stuff, and they were like, nah, bro, the refs. I try to leave that out my coverage. But I'm a beat reporter. So when they step to the podium and they tell you, both Cade Cunningham and JB Bickerstaff, there is a crazy difference in how this game was reffed both ways. Bro, the Clippers didn't even get a good whistle. You look at the rest of their guys. They didn't really get a good whistle. But Harden, 20 free throw attempts to Cade 6. This game, it was a close game the whole way through until about 6 or 7 minutes left in the game where Bogdanovich went and hit back-to-back threes, and that was it. And it was just instantly reminding me of the fact that Tobias Harris also didn't play, and I do believe he would have been able to play that type of a role alongside of Cade because a lot of people were off last night except for Dennis Schroeder, and they do fall 123 to 115 to the Clippers, man. 50 burgers
I know.
from
and
Harden.
It's funny because James Harden, he turned back the clock in every way. He looked like MVP Rockets Harden, also including the amount of fouls he was able to bait. And I'm not saying that the free throws were the reason that the Pistons lost per se, because there's a lot of things that happened. Jalen Duren played his worst game in over a month. I think Asar played his worst game in over a month. Yeah. Tobias was out. Simone Fontecchio, at this point, I'm ready to launch out of a cannon, get off my team. Seriously, like I've had about enough. I know a lot of people have been having enough, but when I saw him airball a 3 last night, when I saw him go 0 for 3 again from 3, I can't take it anymore. But yeah, it is disappointing that James Harden himself had more free throw attempts than the entire Pistons team. And by the way, Cade was working in the paint a lot more than Harden was. There were at least 3. He should have had at least 6 or 8 more free throws. At least 3 or 4 more trips to the line. At least. And I'm being generous.
And that's just based on the way that they were calling the game for Harden. I don't have a problem if you're saying make these guys go out there and earn it. I like that. And you know what? There's other teams out there in the league, Mike Malone, the Denver Nuggets, who have stated, if we allow the refs to let this game be physical, this is one that the Pistons are going to have an opportunity to control. And that, to me, is where last night's game was one where they didn't let the more physical team be the one to benefit from that. They allowed effectively Harden, who's foul baiting, get everything, while on the other end you got Cade Cunningham, who is one of your top players in the entire league at paint points, and he's not getting the same stuff. And when he stepped to the podium, he said it was calls. When JB Bickerstaff stepped to the podium, he said it was calls. He said, look, phenomenal. Greatest, one of our greatest ISO scorers in the history of the game. And it gets tremendously more difficult when you're calling this many fouls on bumps, but you're not doing it the other way as well, on the other side. So that's where it's like, you know what? When you look at how close this game was, 123 to 115, and it took 20 free throw attempts and 50 points from James Harden, that's where those free throws definitely come into some type of scrutiny. And I do believe this. This is one of those games where I'm going to say it again. I do believe Tobias Harris would have made a difference for them, but they still had enough. You can't look over and gloss over what you pointed out, and that's a lot of the guys that have been the reason for the Pistons being so good. They just had an off night. They fell flat last night, and you know what? It was a struggle for us to even look at the game. Yeah. It was like 12:30. I'm sitting here like, gosh, this game is still on. So I'm sure that they were feeling that as well.
And I'm not gonna kill him too much for it, but Duren looked like early season Duren last night. I'll just say that. You're allowed to do it once. Just don't do it again. And he gets a ton of credit for how he's played lately, but last night just wasn't it. And I think one of the reasons why the free throw disparity was so frustrating is because Cade Cunningham played a great game last night. If he would have been officiated fairly, he could have gotten maybe 45
easily. I thought that last night was a night that he had an opportunity to get the 50. I thought 40 he was going to coast to, especially when you looked at the time left in the game and the fact that, okay, they haven't really given him his, but in the fourth quarter we know how much more aggressive that he gets and that maybe he gets an opportunity. But no, they just didn't. And it just felt like, for a young team, this is where you want to be able to have your vets having a decent game and having as many of your vets there as possible on the road in a big spot. I mean, Tobias Harris would feel a little bit comfortable probably there in that gym and on those rims. And so it's like not having that, it puts so much more pressure on those young guys who haven't been in this situation before, because this is the reality. They are not sneaking up on anybody. The Detroit Pistons of this year are not sneaking up on anybody. They're on everybody's radar. And you have players and other teams out there that are scrapping and realizing and knowing we have to beat this team. So it's like you're going to get people's best. James Harden is not sneaking into this game and just like, oh, you know what, we could take this thing lightly, especially knowing the players that they were missing. This was going to be one of those James Harden type games. And honestly, the Pistons, for everything we want to see right with the calls, they had to have known that. They needed to be able to respond a little bit better. And that's where you look at some of the players like Asar and Jalen Duren. It's really on the defensive side of things where I would have liked to see things get a little bit better if we're talking about what they were going to do. I know that the offense struggled, but that to me, I feel like if Beasley was on, I don't even think we're sitting here talking about their offense per se.
Probably not. But yeah, you got to give credit to James Harden. Like I said, when I said that he turned back the clock, he did. He was great. It was cool to me, just as a basketball fan. That was a little bit of Cade Cunningham, I know that you're great. I know you're the new hotness. I know that you're the all-star this year, but I'm still James Harden. So yeah. as a basketball fan, that was pretty cool to watch. As a Pistons fan, it was absolutely maddening. As somebody who gets very frustrated by watching James Harden play sometimes, it's very maddening. But you also have to give credit to Zubac as well, because he was a beast in the post. And that's another one where I'm like, Jalen Duren, looking a little bit too much like early season Jalen Duren, but just do it once and don't do it again. That's all I ask.
Yeah, and honestly, when I look at how it looked like a lot of different players, a lot of them were kind of in that motion or in that rhythm, that's where I do believe that there was something else there to this thing. I believe that the next game, what we've seen this Pistons team do is bounce back well. Yeah. They've taken one loss, bounced back, 2 losses, bounced back 3. And then gone on some pretty nice runs. And so that's been the character of this team. That's what I expect out of this team going forward. This is another one of those games. Not that you burn the tape and just move on, but it's one of those ones that you do just kind of move on from. You just say, you know what, we didn't play up to our standard. We recognize that. And next game, it has to be all-out hustle and energy, because they did fight and battle. But some of the hallmarks that has underpinned their winning streaks and them being one of the best teams, it just wasn't on full display last night. Yeah. And so it's like, you had pretty much everybody other than Tobias. I expect a team like that to go on as a favorite still and to be able to pull out a victory.
They could have won.
They could have won. They were battling. They were fighting. And Cade, I'm glad you shouted him out, because what gets lost in some of that stuff is the fact that Cade went out there and had a pretty efficient night. 15 of 25 from the floor. He was 60% from the floor shooting that ball, man.
Schroeder was really good too, I thought. Yes. And that's what's so tough. And KG, you said it. They could have won. We were talking yesterday about how they had no Norman Powell, they had no Kawhi Leonard. This is a game that the Pistons should win, and they didn't get it done for a myriad of different reasons. The calls didn't help, but as I said, there were some players that just weren't good enough. And Harden was special. Zubac was great. Bogdan closed down the club when it was time to close down the club. Yeah. And you just got to flush it and move on. What last night hurt was, I think, the Pistons' quest for 51. Those are the games you got to win if you're going to get to 51 wins. But I'm not saying it's 51 or bust. But KG, your revised prediction isn't looking as great today.
Yeah, true. We still got 3 more losses to go, I believe, before it's over. So we going to see what it's looking like. But
it's going to be that 46. That Kool-Aid 46.
Realistically, it might be closer to that. But y'all know what it is by now. But, yeah, this Pistons team, I felt like they could have won in a lot of ways last night because they were going bucket for bucket. Literally, James Harden and Cade Cunningham were going back and forth in that first half, and they were matching buckets. And I know it's crazy to say this because James Harden dropped 50 points, but there were a lot of points in that game where I felt like they defended Harden well. Like, he couldn't necessarily get to his spots at the elbow like he normally has. And I felt like he did get bailed out by the whistle a lot. And then when he wasn't getting bailed out, he was just making the better play. But you didn't get enough from the rest of your team. You got destroyed in the paint. You usually are the one that dictates the paint.
Hallmarks.
But you gave up 60 points in the paint. You had 73% from the free throw line. You didn't really take advantage of your opportunities there. And the three-point shooting just was not there last night. Although Beasley didn't necessarily play horrible, you wished you had got a better effort from him. Dennis Schroeder was really the only other person that was really going out there and making an impact for the team the whole night. But overall, I thought they played well for a majority of the game. Like you said, it was a bogey back-to-back three stretch that really pulled the game away. But overall, you'll take this loss on the chin. They'll come back better, and hopefully they can do better with the rest of these games on the West Coast.
Yeah, and that's why I believe that it was really something that was just in the water for this team, whether it's the West Coast trip, the actual time of the game, or just the mojo just wasn't there, because you look at it and you call out kind of the hallmarks of what's made them really, really good, and none of them are there. They usually are pounding the glass, and they won the rebounding battle, but just by one rebound. And check this out, 34 rebounds for the Pistons. That's
enough.
Well below their season average. When you look at the other stats here, right, we talk about those stocks. They routinely beat teams in that. Steals 5-8, Clippers win that battle. Blocks 2-6, Clippers win that battle. So it's like the things that we're used to seeing and used to coming here and saying, yo, look at these things they've done. They just didn't get that done in last night's game.
Yeah, no, absolutely. Yeah. But one thing I will say is that Cade Cunningham absolutely needs to start getting the whistle. And I'm sorry, I'm not trying to blame the game on that, but it's sickening at this point. Like you said, Harden had how many free throws?
20
to Cade 6?
6.
What the fuck are we
Imagine
doing?
if Cade got those extra 14.
Exactly.
Imagine if he got extra 10. The Pistons win.
Thank you.
I don't even give him Harden.
Like, it's really disgusting at this point that you just literally refuse to blow the whistle for Cade. And you see it. Whenever he goes in the paint, he's getting clobbered. Like, it makes no sense to me. The league has to do better, bro. I'm standing on that. That the league has to do better.
They have to, because how many times do we see another team sauce the Pistons, but you look at those free throw attempts and you see, wow, that played some type of a role or impact. Not that the call was right or wrong, but that we see this makes a big difference. When Zach LaVine and all these other players are coming in here and dropping buckets on our head, they're getting the foul calls. And they're not even those teams. It's not even like the Bulls were like some big playoff contender. That's what's crazy about it. And now you have Cade, who's stepping into stardom, not just the spotlight. He's owning it. And this league is going to fail it. You hear this debate of the face of the league going on across the national spectrum, let alone in the local. You got a guy in Cade Cunningham who is Mr. Ethical Hooper, because he's going out there and will drop 35 in your head whether you give him the free throws or not.
Yeah.
He's not going to care. Think about the players that you got to prop up, because if you don't give him the free throws, then all of a sudden you hurt the brand a little bit.
Exactly.
But Cade is the perfect one to back. That's what I don't understand. And he's going out there and he's just doing work regardless of what you call for him or not. But a guy like Harden, I do believe that if those 20 free throw attempts weren't there like last night, it's a different complexity to the game, and it's no slight to James Harden at all. But if anybody else wants to sit out there and tell me that if Cade got the same amount of free throw attempts as Harden last night,
Shit,
the
if he got
Pistons
half
lose,
the free throw
I don't
attempts.
believe that. I will tell you that you're a liar.
Yeah, if he had half the free throw attempts, this might look a little different, man. And to be honest, I know this is speculation and me just bullshitting around. Steve Ballmer and Obama was in the crowd, bro. So maybe they had to, maybe they had to do a little lobbying for the Clippers,
you think Obama had a parlay?
Yeah, I'm just saying, man.
Parlay.
It makes no sense that he gets that many attempts and Cade gets nothing when they were going bucket for bucket, especially in the paint.
Yeah,
it
Vegas
makes
won.
It makes no sense.
Vegas won yesterday.
Well, and unfortunately, it's not going to get any easier. They go to Golden State, who has been scorching hot since they acquired Jimmy Butler, and then they go to Portland, who has also been scorching hot, and they look like they're about ready to turn things around and start winning by maybe next year. But you got to, at worst, take one out of the next two. I would say if you finish the road trip 2-2, it's not the worst thing in the world. You would have liked to go 3-1 or 4-0, but it's these next two games are going to be dogfights, and hopefully they can come out on top. And you know what I love too is I see this in the chat. Super Juggernaut 87. Joey Bosa is a free agent now. What about him?
Hey,
I'm glad you said something. We're going to talk about him next because he's been a big topic of discussion on this network, and I think it's Just another one of those interesting players that we need to discuss. But first, I have to tell you about Planet Fitness. It's fitness that fits your budget. No matter where you are, there's a Planet Fitness close by. There are more than 50 in Metro Detroit and thousands more throughout the world. At Planet Fitness, you'll experience a squeaky clean gym that has tons of equipment, friendly, knowledgeable staff, and a totally judgment-free atmosphere. Did you know that all Planet Fitness memberships include fitness training for no extra cost? Want all the perks? Upgrade to the PF Black Card and enjoy use of amenities such as unlimited use of the Black Card Spa featuring hydro massage, massage chairs, and total body enhancement and more, along with access to over 2,500 locations worldwide and unlimited guest privileges. For more information or to join today, visit your local Planet Fitness or planetfitness.com.
Walk into any Lady Jane's Haircuts for Men today. Open 7 days a week. Sit back, relax, and enjoy precision haircut, scalp massage, hot leather neck shave, and hot towel treatment from one of our talented stylists. Step up your game this season and take advantage of our $20 haircut special. Scan the QR code and get your coupon today. Lady Jane's Haircuts for Men, the ultimate haircut experience. Open 7 days a week. Walk-ins always welcome. Lady Jane's Haircuts for Men. It's wicked awesome.
Big injuries, big news. Twice a week, Dr. Jeff Pierce from Michigan Sports and Spine joins Woodward Sports Network for the Injury Insider Report. Big D Energy Tuesdays at noon, and Ermanni and Edwards with Maz Thursdays at 3:30. Get expert analysis and in-depth breakdowns on the latest sports injuries from the man trusted by top athletes in the community, like D-Mac. Whether it's the Lions, Pistons, Tigers, or Red Wings, Dr. Pierce talks us through it all. Don't miss the Injury Insider Report with Dr. Jeff Pierce, your go-to source for understanding the impact of injuries on the games and players we love. Only on Woodward Sports Network. Scan the QR code on the screen or go to MichiganSportsandSpine.com to see if Dr. Jeff Pierce can help you.
Feldman Chevrolet, Michigan's #1 Chevy dealer, is kicking off the game with the best prices on all cars, trucks, and SUVs, like this 2024 Silverado for just $296 a month, or this 2025 Equinox for as low as $371 a month. Our locations in Novi, Highland, New Hudson, Livonia, and Lansing means we have the perfect Chevy right in your backyard. Get the home team advantage every day at Feldman Chevrolet, Michigan's #1 Chevy dealer.
A ton of fun, a ton of sports, and a ton of man meat. Welcome to the Woodward Heavyweights, live daily 5 to 7 p.m. on Woodward Sports. We don't like to brag that we are the toughest sports network in Detroit, but we do have a guy named Darren McCarty on our side. Woodward Sports.
Caesar Sportsbook, the official sportsbook of us here at Woodward Sports. Do yourself a favor, scan the QR code on screen. Use code word Woodward1000. You can bet up to $1,000, but all you have to do is place a minimum of a $20 bet, and if it doesn't hit, they'll throw it right back into your account with no questions asked. Hey, you could have bet on the Pistons last night and they didn't hit. Guess what? That 20 goes right back into your account. Scan that QR code. Use code word Woodward1000. You know what? Make some money tonight.
Make some money. Hey, welcome back to this Wake Up Woodward. Thank you guys for kicking off today with the WUW Crew. Chat family, as always, you guys are the most important part of this production, so go on ahead and smash that like button. And we trying to get to Vegas, right, JBSmooovv?
Oh, definitely. We are trying to get to Vegas once again. We still got the photos up there for you. Just remember, get in those super chats. First $50, we got the merch. The second $50, once we hit 100, there's some cards up there I got in front of Flannel right now. We still got the Brandon Marshall, but now I've added as well a defensive end, one Mr. Josh Allen. And of course the Golden Tate photo as well too, if we get over $100, right, Kool-Aid?
Yes, sir.
All right, so yeah, get those super chats in while you can. And like I said, it's all, everything that you give is going to a good cause for us trying to get ourselves to Summer League out in Vegas to give you guys the best content out there, hanging with Kool-Aid and all these NBA stars as well too. So definitely do everything that you can, and hey, whatever you can give, we love and appreciate.
Hey, definitely, man. We appreciate you guys. We've hit that minimum goal every single day since we started this, and I'm telling you guys, we appreciate you so much. And the top two shows on the network who finished with the most, they go home with the pot. There are a couple homegrown shows on this network, man.
Yes.
Wake Up Woodward is one of them. We represent you all, man. So we appreciate you guys for everything you do for the network, especially for Wake Up Woodward. And you know what? I already told JBSmooovv too. We're gonna have some Pistons tickets too.
Hey,
we're gonna get some Pistons tickets for you guys. That's gonna be a part of these giveaways as well. And I'm gonna try and get my hands on some Red Wings tickets. So it's gonna be in a way to incentivize you guys as you all continue to support us. But did somebody say linebackers? Did somebody say linebackers? An expensive one, but yeah. Joey Bosa. Listen, he was just released by the Chargers. Flannel, I gotta ask you this, man. Would you like to see them go after a Joey Bosa type, knowing that it might cost?
This is a tough one, and let me give this caveat, because there was some talk about, it might have even been a graphic on this network, or at least some speculation of, should the Lions give up a 4th round pick for Joey Bosa when he was still signed with the Chargers? And that would have just been an asinine idea that Brad Holmes would have never have done, because Joey Bosa, at his age, with some of his recent issues, taking on $20 million per year would have been a bad idea. However, now that he's released, things are a little bit more interesting. And for the record, I'm a big fan of Joey Bosa. He's one of 3 players that I actually liked when they were at Ohio State. They were the Bosa brothers and Chase Young, because I just watched them and I was tantalized by their talent and their body and just everything that went along with them. And obviously, they're all, except for Chase Young, to some extent, really, really good in the league. But with Joey Bosa, his first 6 seasons in the NFL, he was primed for Canton, primed for that gold jacket. The problem is, Joey Bosa now, after his last 3 seasons, has to answer for some allegations. And those allegations are, is he washed? Because in 2022 and 2023 combined, he played 14 out of a possible 34 games, which means he missed 20. Last season was objectively the worst season of his career when it comes to counting stats, when it comes to the eye test, and when it comes to PFF metrics. Only had 5 sacks last season. Really looked like he wasn't the same guy, had lost a step or two, and he was the 72nd ranked edge rusher in the NFL according to PFF. You can take that with a grain of salt if you want, but a number that egregious, it makes my ears perk up a little bit, even though I'm PF Flannel. I'll say this, and this is something that was talked about on BDE yesterday. I agree with everything that Spencer Raxter said. I'm going to more or less copy and paste, but I'm going to give him credit. If you want to bring Joey Bosa in, 1 year, $10 million, with incentives that can make it up to 15, I'm cool with it. I would love to have him for $10 million with incentives, and Zadarius Smith and Aiden Hutchinson. I think that could be an absolutely deadly edge rushing trio. But with Joey Bosa, as I said, he's got allegations to answer for, because he's also going into his age 30 season.
That was where my preface or my premise was as well. It's just, what is the cost? What is too much for a Bosa? And right now, knowing what the Detroit Lions just went through a season ago, I almost want to know that who we're putting out there is somebody that at least has the history of being relied on from an injury standpoint. And that's where sometimes I'm like, is there somebody in the draft? Is there somebody more economical in the free agent market from a linebacking standpoint that they can look at? Because we said it last offseason, that was the one unit that they decided, hey, listen, we're not going to throw any free agent or draft capital at in the offseason, even though they went ham with the cornerbacks in the secondary, and they went effectively ham as it relates to the defensive line. They added a little bit to the offensive line as well as the defensive line, and then brought in a Tim Patrick as a wide receiver even. So it's just like they made a lot of different sprinkles, but that linebacker one is one where I believe this might be a good year for them to do something. I just don't know if Joey Bosa is it.
Well, he's not my first choice, obviously. Like, if we're talking about free agents, I'd rather have DeMarcus Lawrence. I'd rather have Khalil Mack. I'd probably rather have Josh Sweat. I'd rather trade for Myles Garrett. But every single one of those guys will probably cost you more than a Joey Bosa. Because Joey Bosa right now, as I said before, his last 3 seasons, his Hall of Fame pace has just been grinded to a screeching halt. If I'm Brad Holmes, I'm going to Joey Bosa and I'm not going to say this exactly. I'm going to tell him in more or less, you got some allegations against you. Some people think that you're washed. Over the last 3 seasons, if somebody were to say that he was washed, can't be mad at it. Been injured a lot, not been as productive. If you want to come here and try to revitalize your career and win, here's that $10 million contract. You can have some incentives if you want, but we're not going to give you the bag because right now he's just not worth it. And I'm so glad that he was released because it actually gives the Lions an opportunity to explore something like that because, as I said before, trading an asset, taking on a $20 million a year contract for Joey Bosa would have been an objectively horrible move that Brad Holmes would have never have made. But at the same time, as I said before, if you're talking about Aiden Hutchinson on one side and a rotation of Za'Darius and Joey Bosa on the other, I'm cool with that. I'm objectively cool with that.
But I'm seeing in the chat, everybody right now is wanting Mac over Bosa.
Of course, Mac's better, but Mac's going to cost like 20-some plus million a year.
And that's kind of the conundrum that they're at. It's like if you do take that chance on a Bosa, is this thing more inclined to work out like the Davenport deal, or is it more inclined to work out like DJ Reader? And that's where it's like, if I can spend the money and know that we got a player who can go out there and be effective for the majority of the season and into the playoffs, then I'm fine with spending that money. If it's on a deal, because you make a great point. Like, obviously what he was getting paid with the Chargers was never going to be something that the Lions were even going to take a sniff at. But if you got an opportunity to get him on some type of a discount, then maybe you take a flyer on it if you think that pedigree of a player is somebody you can kind of keep in a rotation, keep fresh, because that's the way you presented it.
Yep.
In a rotation, on a cheaper scale, can you keep him fresh, and can you get his kind of Hall of Fame talent in spurts? Because I don't believe that you're going to get that consistently, but can you effectively funnel the best of whoever Joey Bosa is for your Detroit Lions team to get that edge?
The question is, does he want to win? Because he's gotten big contracts before. Does he want to win, or does he want the bag? Obviously, the Chargers have had some regular season success during his career there, but the Chargers are always going to Charger, and he never was on a team that won anything of significance. In fact, his most famous playoff moment was probably slamming his helmet down on the sideline while they were blowing the lead to the Jaguars. So, if I'm Joey Bosa, I'm thinking about the best way to revitalize my career is to be that edge rusher who showed what I once was in spurts on a team that gets to the playoffs, wins the division, maybe gets a 1 seed, maybe goes to the Super Bowl and wins it. That, to me, would be the best way to revitalize my career if I'm Joey Bosa. But we all know, with NFL players, with those shelf lives, which Joey Bosa knows all too well, sometimes they want that financial security more than anything, more than the financial security he probably already has.
And Mike G says, Flannel, that is a nice rotation. Hutch, Bosa, and Big Z.
Yeah.
Yeah. What up, though, KG?
I don't think your mic's on, KG.
My bad. But now that he's been released, I definitely think that this conversation should be on the table. And I do understand everybody's worried about the injuries, right? That was my thing yesterday. That's what everybody is going to say when approaching a Joey Bosa. What about the injuries? Unfortunately, that's the uncontrollable thing of this. But he is still on the technically younger side of his career. He's just approaching 30. And I get that. But when we're talking about Marcus Davenport and Joey Bosa, there's a stark difference just from the fact of the player that we're talking about. When Joey Bosa is on the field, he's relatively been elite most of his career. And I understand, this last season, he only started 9 games. He played in 14. I assume it was because of a snap count in those other games. But not only did he have 5 sacks in 9 games started, he also had 13 QB hits and 2 forced fumbles. So it's not the worst thing in the world. And he's coming into a situation here to where he doesn't have to be an every down guy, because you do have a Za'Darius Smith that can play that reserve role and he can sub in and out that way. But the only thing that I would caution, if you make a move like this and hopefully we're able to get him on a good deal, your depth has to be A1, because you almost have to account for the fact that he's probably going to miss some games. He's probably not going to play a whole season. But with that aside, I don't think it's the worst move in the world, especially now that he's released and you don't have to trade any draft capital for him. It should definitely be a conversation.
No, you know what's funny, because Kool-Aid, you brought up Marcus Davenport, and at first I wanted to be like, oh no, don't even put them in the same sense. Here, I'm not going to kill you for it, but here's what Joey Bosa's career has been. His first 6 seasons, he was Hall of Fame level. I'm talking like just like his brother Nick, who has lapped him and then some. But at the time, he was one of the best in the world. But over the past 3 seasons, he's kind of been Marcus Davenport with a lesser production. You mentioned his numbers last year, KG, and they're not bad per se, but they're way below what we're used to when it comes to Joey Bosa, even on a per-snap basis.
Agreed.
His last 3 seasons have been a lot closer to Marcus Davenport than prime Joey Bosa. So you're not completely off base, even though Davenport was nowhere near the player that Bosa was in his prime. See, you got to let me come around.
Well,
I'll give you some merit.
But the other thing that I wanted to be able to tell on there as well was the concept of, there was 2 players that I mentioned there. There were 2 defensive line players that we signed that had some type of a checkered injury past. That's Marcus Davenport and DJ Reader. Mm-hmm. So that was the other comparative name I also mentioned. I didn't compare him necessarily to Davenport. I said if we sign a Bosa with an injury history, is he going to be one of those players that we get the same kind of results that we got out of Davenport? He's going to be more that, not in terms of production on the field, but is he going to be on the field or not? Or DJ Reader, who, it wasn't a perfect season, but it sounds more akin to what you guys are explaining. Like, look, he's going to miss some games, but primarily he's going to be there and give you at least the production that you can expect from a Joey Bosa type of player. And that's what I was saying. Like, if you go out there and you spend that money, do you guys believe that this is a player, which you've answered it, is this a player that's going to be more on the field like a DJ Reader, despite the checkered injury pads, despite missing some games, or like a Davenport, who when we first signed him, we were like, okay, we know what he can do. And then as soon as it was like, yo, this dude is basically gone for the year, we were like, ah. And nobody was really surprised at it. And that's where, as Joey Bosa is getting older, that's my only thing, because it's like we need the players to be on the field at this point in time. We saw how instrumental it was last year, and if you go and you spend that on him, that's a two-edged sword, because you're also talking about what you're spending right now versus what you could have gotten on maybe a rookie scale contract or a player that's going to grow with your team from a longevity standpoint. And that's where my mind was thinking about it with him, because I do know he can contribute if they funnel him and they allow him to play in that rotation. But
if you were to go to make a move like this, though, you can still go draft a guy. I don't think that should, be out of the question, especially considering that Bosa would probably not start a lot of the season. But hopefully it's more in line with DJ Reader, like you said, somebody that he started the season injured. He missed, the first 3 or 4 games. But he was relatively there the rest of the way. That's what you're hoping to get out of a Joey Bosa. If you can give me at least 12 to 13 games, then I feel like this contract isn't necessarily wasted, but you have to be productive when you're on the field. That's my only gripe.
I would probably guess 12 to 13. Like, I think that there's a lot more evidence that Joey Bosa is going to be healthy than there was for a Marcus Davenport. And easy in the chat, Brad loves him banged up. Bring him home. That's fair. I would say depreciated is a more tactful word for it, but. Hey, maybe Joey Bosa can be that diamond in the rough.
I'm thinking, like, we probably need to track, like, the all-rehab team. Like, what's the power ranking? Which one is going to be the one this offseason? Is it a Joey Bosa? Because Real K77. Injury-prone. 1 year, prove-it players is bargain Brad's type of guy. And
that's what I was talking about giving him, though. Yeah.
And that's what I'm saying. Like, especially the way you guys spelled it out. It's not even like you're expecting him to come in here and be the guy of the past. It's like, can we get the best of Joey Bosa while trying to keep him the healthiest? And that would be the rotation you can get, kind of with the defensive line and the linebacker core that the Lions have.
Just saying, just imagine this edge rushing rotation of Hutch, Za'Darius, Joey Bosa, Josiah Stewart.
Maybe
Landon Jackson. I'll say that. Maybe Landon Jackson. Hey, there we go.
Pretty good.
See, that is
time on the field wise. That's sexy. You're saying more sexy. DJ Reader than Davenport.
And to be honest, I'm on board. To be honest, I give him a 2-year deal. To be honest, but I would probably put incentives in there to where you have to see a certain amount of field time in order to hit certain incentives. But if you can get a guy like this under contract for a couple of years and see what he's got, I don't think there's much risk in that, considering that you're probably getting them at a lower deal because of the injury history.
I don't think the Chat family want Bosa, man.
And
like I said,
but you got to make a compelling argument.
He's not a perfect solution by any means, but he could be as good of a value as you're going to find, because as I've said before, when he was in his prime, he was headed straight for Canton, Ohio. Yeah. It's just unfortunate the way that things have been derailed for him. But if he wants to get back on that Hall of Fame track, come to the Lions, be one of their top sack guys on a team that wins the Super Bowl. That'll do it for you. And you could wash that Charger-ish right off you, because when you're a Charger, things just happen.
Sign like him and trade up for James Pierce.
You're right, because you're right. It doesn't cancel out their ability to go out there and still make that. Obviously, all of it's going to hit the cap sheet, and they got to worry about how they manage that. But they've done brilliantly in that department, so I don't even worry about that. Obviously, this aspect of adding more rush help, edge help, I know that's what they're going to do, whether it's through the draft, through trades, through free agency. So the combinations is where it gets fun to kind of think about it, because now I'm going to wreck my brain about the all-rehab power rankings. Who's going to be that guy? There's going to be one of them this offseason at the very least. And
the all-rehab
you know what? Michigander 1212 says Aiden Hutchinson will make any mid-level edge rusher look elite because Aiden will draw that much attention to himself.
Well, Joey Bosa should be used to it. He's played with Khalil Mack for a few years. But to be fair, they actually haven't been on the field at the same time very often. So hopefully this year, if it happens, it's a big if, Joey Bosa and Aiden Hutchinson can share the field a lot, because that would be deadly. But speaking of guys we would like to see on the field for the Lions next year, but there's some questions. Carlton Davis went real cryptic on his X account.
Yeah.
We're going to talk about that, because it could have some big ramifications on the Lions this year. But JB, tell us about merch.
Oh, I got you. Let me clean up these super chats real quick. Yep. Once again, everyone that sends in super chats will get something read on air live right now. Shout out to Randall Smalls, $2. No to Bosa. That is his answer about
Can't
Joey
be mad
Bosa,
at you for that.
Yeah, definitely can't be mad at you. And also shout out JJ sending in $5. He said, let's stop messing around. We know the cap isn't real. Let's go get someone big and help Hutch out. I'm not worried about the future. It's about right now. And hey, you can't argue with them about that either. So shout out. But let me tell you about some merch that we got going on right now. If you head over to woodwardsports.com, all you got to do is click on that shop tab. New designs for you every single week. But you know we got the LFG Red Wings t-shirts, hoodies out right now. And you can't forget about the Woodward Tigers as well, too. Because you know what? Opening day is coming up very, very soon. And you need to be decked out in Woodward sports gear when you're at Comerica Park. Head over to woodwardsports.com. Just click on that shop tab.
How do people feel about getting a Planet Fitness membership for $15 a month? How do they like working out in a clean and spacious gym that's filled with equipment for every workout? And how about free fitness training in the judgment-free zone that leaves them feeling energized all day long? Join Planet Fitness today with the free PF app, online or in club, and start getting that big fitness energy for $15 a month.
Head to WoodwardSports.com and click on Shop. Get the latest in Detroit sports apparel and exclusive Woodward sports gear. WoodwardSports.com can get the whole team outfitted. Love the Pistons, Red Wings, and Tigers? We got something for you, too. Shop online at WoodwardSports.com.
Stop searching for a vehicle and start finding one. Les Stanford Chevrolet Cadillac makes it easy. We harness the power of multiple dealerships and own the biggest selection of GM brands in the area to get you the car you need. With the Les Stanford Group, you'll have access to 4 different dealerships, providing you with more makes, more models, and more choices. We're connected to more than 1,000 vehicles. And with so many high-quality CPO vehicles available, you'll find new car quality at pre-owned prices. You can start and end your search at lesstanford.com today.
Detroit has the best sports fans in the world. That's why they deserve the best sports coverage in the world. We are the Woodward Sports Network.
At Lady James, we take the charge of getting a haircut. Our talented stylist will deliver an industry-leading haircut, a relaxing scalp massage, a hot lather neck shave, and a hot towel treatment.
Hey, yo.
Open 7 days a week. Walk-ins, welcome anytime. Lady James Haircuts for Men. It's wicked awesome. Goodness gracious. Welcome back. It is Wake Up Woodward. Chat family, go ahead and smash that like button. Hey, you know what? Just go ahead and satisfy it, man. Just treat it right.
Hey,
treat it nice.
Treat it nice.
Hit
nice
it right.
and wet. Hey, listen, man. I realize that screen might be a little slippery because you've been having a little fun, man. But just wipe it off, get ready for round 2. And just go ahead and hit that like button for the WUW Crew, baby, because we in here working hard. So we want you to work a little bit hard for us. Don't grunt it out too much.
Hey, hit that like button. Run them likes up, man.
Run it up.
It's been a good week of likes. It's been a good week of super chats. We're getting pumped up because Vegas is going to be dope. Seeing more and more chat family members not just give super chats and hit the like button, but also saying, you know what? I think I might go down to Summer League this year too. It's going to be dope. And that's one of our Kumbaya points, man, and we love it. Another Kumbaya is that we all believe that it would be good for the Detroit Lions to bring back Carlton Davis. But these cryptic posts on X got everybody wondering, no, what did you say yesterday? Was that it? Yeah. That's where we at.
Rangers did lose last night in OT, by the way. They got a point, though. But
JBSmooovv, do you have those graphics as it relates to Carlton Davis?
Oh, yeah, I got these graphics, and everyone's a little upset about these.
Can you read those off, brother?
Yeah, so it says, I won't make the same mistake twice. If you want your defense upgraded, you know who to pay. Turn on the tape. Carlton Davis via X.
If I'm trying to decipher this as well as I possibly can, I would say that by make the same mistake twice, he did re-sign with the Tampa Bay Buccaneers in 2022 after obviously doing enough for the Buccaneers to think highly enough of him to re-sign him, was obviously a very big part on their Super Bowl winning team. But with Tampa Bay in the next couple of years, particularly the 2023 season, it just didn't work out. He ended up getting traded, coming to Detroit, having a great year, really revitalizing his career and reputation. And I think because of that, he wants to explore all options. He's not just going to be blindly loyal to, I'm going to go back to the Lions because they want to offer me a contract. He's going to want to explore because I honestly think there's going to be a team that might pay him $17, $18 million a year, and I'm not sure Brad Holmes is going to do that. I probably would personally because I definitely think losing Carlton Davis would necessitate a need to go get somebody else who we don't know about in a Lions uniform. But I just think Carlton Davis is just trying to maximize his earning potential, his potential as a player. I mean, he's already got a ring, so he doesn't really have that. I'm not saying he doesn't have that hunger to win, but he's already done it. He's not like a Joey Bosa, for example, who hasn't won a damn thing. Carlton Davis has. So it's interesting because not that long ago, Carlton Davis was talking about how Dan Campbell is his favorite coach he's ever played for. So it's the business of the NFL. It's tough. It's cutthroat.
It is. It's tough. It's cutthroat. But you know what? You called this. You said that you could see a team out there who really could go up as high as maybe even 20 for Carlton Davis. And that's where it's like, you know what? This is an interesting offseason ahead because there's a lot of things that we just push button, like Carlton Davis. Yeah, they like him. He's good. He'll be back. Yeah. And now all of a sudden, it's like one little tweet and everyone loses their mind. Shout out to the Joker. You saw it, though. As soon as it went, I felt bad for Easy, dog. I'm like, man, dog. Easy, man. I hope you're good, bro. Because I saw him. He was a little sad on socials when this thing first went down. And even me, I was just sitting here like, wait, what exactly does this mean? Right. And so just thinking about it, knowing that he was, I mean, is it safe to say our best cornerback last year? Like, by far. Like, I just want to make sure I set the stage right. To lose that where all of the other cornerbacks were saying, hey, these guys are trying to grow. Like, having him here to me makes it so much easier to go and draft more cornerback talent. Because now if you don't have a Carlton Davis here, you're going to have to go out there, in my opinion, and pick up a couple, 2 or 3 vet-type cornerbacks that you know can get the job done. Obviously there's Meek, and then you're looking at, Darius Slay, though? Is he going to do the type of job that Carlton Davis stepped in and did?
I don't believe that he will at this stage in his career.
That's a slight downgrade. It's not the worst downgrade, but it's a slight downgrade.
Especially when you pairing that with, I believe in Terran Arnold and Ennis Rakestraw, but I still believe there's growth there. It's like you're losing a surefire, your best corner guy. So.
No, and he's arguably the best corner on the market right now. So when I see stuff like this, he's talking to a lot of different teams right now, so this doesn't necessarily mean he's talking to the Lions. It could just be a mass message that, he's sending out to all the offers he's received so far. Like, look, if y'all want to be upgraded, y'all gonna have to pay me, like, point blank, period. But if he is talking about the Lions, then, that doesn't bode too well for maybe bringing him back home. But it's still a lot of time before things settle on this, so I'm not going to overreact. But it's just part of the game. Like Flannel said, it's a tough market out here. It's a cutthroat business, and at the end of the day, money talks and BS walks. Yeah, so we just got to wait and see what happens.
And KG, you said something at the beginning where you were like, Carlton Davis is the best cornerback on the market. I agree, and that's why I want him back. And don't get me wrong, if Carlton Davis walks, if Carlton Davis signs with somebody else, I do think it is imperative that they go out and get one of these veteran guys. I know you got Charvarius Ward. He's on the market. His estimated market value is $15 million a year. And with Charvarius Ward, his issue is last season, in a season marred with a lot of personal turmoil, was not very good. But the year before, he was second-team All-Pro, and he put out a post on X saying, whoever signs me is going to get the best of me. I would look into that if Carlton Davis doesn't re-sign. You've got DJ Reed, who's been really good on the Jets for a number of years, even before Sauce Gardner got there. When Sauce Gardner was elite, and when Sauce Gardner had taken a step back, DJ Reed was still relatively consistent. You got Byron Murphy, who I'm not too crazy about because I think he gives up too many plays, but he did have 6 picks last year, which was near the tops of the league. Kendall Fuller is somebody I would look at as well. I wanted them to sign Kendall Fuller. It was either I did. Cycle. I was big on the Kendall Fuller train, and even though he was a little bit of it, he wasn't his best with Miami last year. He was still very good with Washington for multiple years before that. Shaquille Griffin is another one I'm looking at, who was on the Vikings last year and was good, although in somewhat limited snaps. Paulson Adebo as well. He got hurt last year. He's looking for a contract, like probably a pretty expensive one following his rookie contract. His estimated value is $11 million. I think if Carlton Davis doesn't re-sign, you have to go out and get one of those guys, because with all due respect to Terrion, I don't want him as CB1. I think he could be very productive and make a lot of improvements as a CB2 next to a veteran with a better pass rush, but I don't want him as a CB1. And I sure as heck don't have a lot to base an Ennis Rakestraw leap off of, because last year he played 46 snaps. This year will be his de facto rookie season.
So based on what you said and what CD3 gave us last year, what would be your line? What is your limit on what you're willing to pay him?
Probably 18 a year.
You go 18?
I probably would.
How many years?
3.
3
years, 18.
I was gonna say 2 to 3 years fits kind of this window that they're in right now. If he's your CB1, if he can largely stay healthy and stay on the field, the jaw injury doesn't concern me as much.
Yeah.
If it was like a leg or something, maybe we were talking something different. But if he can stay on the field and still give you CB1 type like output for at least 2 of those years, that's the window now, at least, especially when you pair it up with Jared Goff's contract.
Yeah. I don't know, man. 3 years, I don't know if I'm going 3 at this point. I might do 2 at like, 15 or something like that. And let's see where it goes. Might throw some incentives in there. Maybe even I might give you a player option.
I'm glad the cap went up.
I will say that, yes, that is absolutely. I will say this. It doesn't work that way, but just hear me out with this hypothetical. If I knew for a fact that if Carlton Davis walked, that I could either get Charvarius Ward at $15 million, DJ Reed at $15 million, or Kendall Fuller at probably between 10 and 15, I would not let Carlton Davis walk, but I would drive a harder bargain. I will say that. Maybe stick at 2 years, less term, or maybe 15, 16, 17. Probably not even 17, probably 15 or 16, because I think any 4 of those options will be very good for the Lions next year. We already know what Carlton Davis can do for the Lions. Yeah. I'm not as bullish on guys like Shaquille Griffin and Byron Murphy, and no, it's not because they played for the Vikings. It's because I don't think they're as good.
Do you need to get 2 guys if you lose a Carlton Davis? Do you need to make that up with 2 players instead of 1?
How about Charvarius Ward and Darius Slay? Bring them home. I'm ready to make it happen.
That's why I said earlier
you could sign and draft a guy, but
that,
for sure.
Yeah, that's why I said earlier if they lose a Carlton Davis, that's what it looks like it's going to be. Like they're going to have to go out there and get a couple players to try and make up that difference. Yeah, obviously we do. You know, there's Meek. If they do bring in a Darius Slay, instantly you guys were like, yeah, they're gonna have to get more. And that's the concept that makes me kind of think like, is it easier to just kind of give him some money, give him the years, like Flannel is suggesting, and just you don't have to worry about that as you go into your off season, or are there some other players you think that can be effective in it? So it's going to be interesting to see the way that Brad does this because they already attacked the draft. You can really come back with another cornerback or two from the draft and expect to get. They're gonna have to step it. They're gonna have to hit that field day one, looking like some of those top cornerbacks from last year.
Just real quick, Flannel. All I would caution fans is don't overreact to this particular message because this could just be a negotiation tactic at this point.
Sure,
I think this is something him and his agent just, hey, let's put the message out there. Let's see if we can drive up the market, and maybe he goes back to Brad Holmes like, look, this is what I'm getting offered. This is what I would like, and then they go from there. But it's still yet to be seen.
And that's the message that I was trying to get across last night on the heavyweights when they were having the discussion because a lot of people in the chat and even him on the desk were kind of freaking out just a little bit, especially Nick as well too. He thought Carlton was just done, but like I was trying to put it out there, hey, maybe Brad sent out an offer, Carlton didn't like it, so now he's just popped on socials like most of us normally do when we have a little issue or something going on and just kind of vent a little bit, kind of promoting himself as well too, saying, hey, if you want your defense upgraded, come get me, just look at the tape.
You know, JB, I hope you're right, and that's the
reason.
Yeah, that's a great point, and I hope that it is a negotiation tactic because I would love to have Carlton Davis back on the team. I will say this though, there's another option that is intriguing, at least to me, and I'm kind of curious to see what everybody else thinks. And this could probably be a topic on its own, but the gears just started shifting, and I'm just going to say it now. What if you move? And this is if Carlton Davis walks. What if you move Amik to the outside, have Terrion as CB2, and then sign Mike Hilton for $12 million a year and have him be your slot corner? He's one of the best slot corners in the league.
And Amik stepped up when it was on him, when Carlton Davis went down. And then he also had the game against Justin Jefferson that we remember. A lot of people were saying that it was because of his familiarity. Yeah. But I do believe he's just an absolute dog, and we've seen him all season run the routes for the wide receiver, but the plays that he's given up, it's almost like the Isaiah Stewart thing. Absolute dogs, but sometimes there's some limitations that come into effect.
I promise I'm not trying to doubt him. Could he play on the outside for the whole season? Probably. I don't know if I want that for 17 games.
I am totally with you that it's not ideal. I'm just bringing up certain scenarios. What if it's Amik, Slay, Terrion, Mike Hilton, Kirby, Branch?
Because would anybody be surprised if it wound up like that, though?
Yeah, because if you get Slay, that changes everything. Because Slay is probably your number one corner or like unofficial number one corner. So that's different if you get Slay. But if we just talking Mike Hilton by himself and Amik on the outside for all season, I don't know if I like that. I like Amik playing in spots, playing on the outside.
That's where I think it's got to be. Now that I'm talking it through with you guys, I think it's got to be Mike Hilton and Slay if you want to do something like that. Carlton. But I would love that if that were the case.
You can interchange Amik and Slay if you were to do that. You can 100%. Interchange them on the outside.
You could even interchange if Terrion's having some struggles as well.
Yeah, and Branch is familiar with playing out there too. It's a multitude of things you could do, but I think you do have to get that extra guy. It can't just be Mike Hilton. No disrespect to him.
No, of course, because when you're a slot corner, obviously it's a very, very valuable skill in the NFL. I would probably take a reliable outside one who could moonlight in the slot. Because Mike Hilton does not play on the outside. Literally every snap he took last year was in the slot. I'm not kidding. Look it up. But he's got a particular set of skills. It's kind of the same thing with Cooper DeJean, and we see how valuable those kind of guys are on teams either that win a Super Bowl, which Cooper DeJean did with Philly, or just on a team like Cincinnati who didn't win much last year, but you saw the impact that he was able to have on games.
Goodness gracious. This conversation, just one tweet, and then it opens up the whole of off-season strategy because you're right. You lose a Carlton Davis, and you're going to have to find a way to make up in multiple ways. It's not just a one-to-one with Carlton Davis because he was so impactful, impactful. Just head and shoulders the best cornerback out there, and I thought that the other guys did decent for the expectation last season.
Yeah.
So
I'm still confident the Lions get this done. I am.
With Carlton?
Yep.
Sure. It feels like it's supposed to.
Yeah,
like, it just does.
They have the cap space. It's not a matter of, can they pay him? It's just will Brad Holmes pay him what he wants? So I'm confident they'll get it done.
Yeah.
Gosh, I'm so glad that cap went up.
Another way to augment the team through the draft, and me and KG are bringing back our draft breakdowns of defensive tackles this time. And there are some interesting ones. I will just say this. I like my guy, and I like KG's too.
Hey.
Lots of pick picks
going on here.
Little
flavor over there on KG.
Yeah, a little bit.
Hey, you know what? I got to tell the people about Dr. Pierce, huh?
Dr. Pierce.
So, attention sports fans. Don't miss out on expert sports injury insights with Dr. Jeff Pierce of Michigan Sports and Spine. Join Dr. Pierce every Tuesday on Big D Energy, every Thursday on Ermanni and Edwards, where he's offering you top-notch injury advice. You guys got to trust the guy that D-Mac does. Dr. Jeff Pierce is here to keep you in the game and performing at your best. For more information, visit MichiganSportsAndSpine.com or call 248-426-9944.
Stop searching for a vehicle and start finding one. Les Stanford Chevrolet Cadillac makes it easy. We harness the power of multiple dealerships and own the biggest selection of GM brands in the area to get you the car you need. With the Les Stanford Group, you'll have access to 4 different dealerships, providing you with more makes, more models, and more choices. We're connected to more than 1,000 vehicles. And with so many high-quality CPO vehicles available, you'll find new car quality at pre-owned prices. You can start and end your search at lesstanford.com today.
Big injuries, big news. Twice a week, Dr. Jeff Pierce from Michigan Sports and Spine joins Woodward Sports Network for the Injury Insider Report. Big D Energy Tuesdays at noon, and Ermanni and Edwards with Maz Thursdays at 3:30. Get expert analysis and in-depth breakdowns on the latest sports injuries from the man trusted by top athletes in the community, like D-Mac. Whether it's the Lions, Pistons, Tigers, or Red Wings, Dr. Pierce talks us through it all. Don't miss the Injury Insider Report with Dr. Jeff Pierce, your go-to source for understanding the impact of injuries on the games and players we love. Only on Woodward Sports Network. Scan the QR code on the screen or go to MichiganSportsAndSpine.com to see if Dr. Jeff Pierce can help you.
Walk into any Lady Jane's Haircuts for Men today. Open 7 days a week. Sit back, relax, and enjoy precision haircut, scalp massage, hot leather neck shave, and hot towel treatment from one of our talented stylists. Step up your game this season and take advantage of our $20 haircut special. Scan the QR code and get your coupon today. Lady Jane's Haircuts for Men, the ultimate haircut experience. Open 7 days a week. Walk-ins always welcome. Lady Jane's Haircuts for Men. It's wicked awesome.
Hello. Dreaming of a new home but feeling the financial pinch? Mark White & Associates, your trusted real estate experts, are here to help. Mark White & his team will pay up to $5,000 of your closing costs. That's right, I said $5,000. Call Mark White & Associates today at 248-290-8242 or visit them at markwhitesells.com. Again, call Mark White today at 248-290-8242 to make your dreams come true.
Hey, and we are back. It is that time again. Another draft profile today, and Flannel and KG, they are our football knowers here on Wake Up Woodward, and really at Woodward Sports, some of our football knowers. But the first player up, we got Darius Alexander, defensive tackle out of Toledo. Yes. Hey, let's rock.
Hey, the 419, and shout out to our brother Lucas Klotz as well, and Travis. Hey, everyone's hey, Toledo, closest Ohio city to Michigan, and not that far of a drive from me. But anywho,
now look, the first player that you profiled, and everybody's like, I don't care about the size, Josiah Stewart, if he's there, pick. But you don't got that problem here.
No, I do not. Darius Alexander really has it all. And what I like in certain draft prospects is I like them to have production on the field. I like them to have the PFF metrics. I like them to have the body and like the combine stuff. And I like them to really pop off on tape. And I believe that Darius Alexander has it all. And I'll tell you what, the Detroit Lions, they could do something that the Philadelphia Eagles did last year. draft a first-round player from Toledo, and win a Super Bowl. Am I right? Am I right? Yes, the Eagles did it with Quinyon Mitchell, and the Lions could do it with Darius Alexander. I'm going to talk first about production. In the last 2 seasons, 76 tackles, 7.5 sacks, 14 tackles for loss, a pick 6, which was insane, by the way. The way that 310-pound man was running was tantalizing, and 8 passes defended. Those don't necessarily pop off the screen, but for defensive tackle, they're actually very good, and he was second-team all-conference last year. Also, with the PFF stuff, and you know I'm a big PFF guy. You can take it with a grain of salt if you want, but I will not. You can call me PF Flannel if you want. According to PFF, he is 23rd on the PFF big board, so if he falls to 28, in theory, it will be a steal. He's the 4th-rated defensive tackle, with 2 of the ones above him being Michigan guys, and the other one being the guy that KG is about to profile later. He was the 3rd highest rated defensive tackle in his draft class, according to PFF last year, and his run defense grade is elite, and he has a 13% pass rush win rate last year, which is elite as well. Not only all of that, the man showed out at the combine. 6'4", 310, an absolute physical beast. Again, no worries about size whatsoever. Long arms, great wingspan, a 9.2 RAS score. That's the real athleticism. That's the relative athletic score. I almost forgot the acronym, but anything above 9 is considered excellent, and we know Brad Holmes loves the guys with the RAS scores. His 40 time was 5th amongst defensive tackles. His 10-yard splits was 4th amongst defensive tackles. His cone drill was 4th amongst defensive tackles, and his bench press reps were tied for 2nd amongst defensive tackles. All of those measurables, production, PFF, his tape is also really, really good. And KG, go ahead.
No, that's what I was going to go to, because he's showing out at the combine, which is one half of the story or one part of the story for Brad Holmes. But what we know that Brad Holmes loves to do is look at who these players are in the pads, in the games. He's not going to be necessarily taken aback by the combine. But what you saw on tape is something that you think will take Brad Holmes back.
Hey, absolutely. And KG, if you want to roll it, as you can see, he is going to take on this double team and stuff the running back at the line of scrimmage. Uses that power. It's beautiful to watch. On this one, you're going to see him shed the block, read run, tackle the running back at the line of scrimmage. The man can run block for sure. On this one, the quarterback is going to roll out. Darius Alexander is going to help with contain. Once he sees the quarterback go to the other side, sheds the blocker, helps chase him down for a sack. This one, you're going to see his patented swim move. He just club swims right past the guard, forces the quarterback outside into an inaccurate throw. This one is probably my favorite. He lines up outside. His explosion, he actually goes into the guard. The guard has no chance, puts him on skates, buries him in the backfield for a sack. And with this last one, it's not as easy to see. You're going to see him absolutely bitch this guard, throw him to the side, and tackle that running back for like a 4-5 yard loss. Oh, it was beautiful. And that's...
So what I'm seeing on there is this. And I'm just thinking, like, if you pair this guy with Aiden Hutchinson and Cole and Zadarius Smith, is there a pocket? Like, all these plays, he's collapsing the pocket himself, it looks like, with his bull rush, with his explosion. He can get around you with finesse, or he can just straight up put you on your tail, and then he's taking down your quarterback as well.
Oh, yeah. And also, what I like about this potential, and you're going to see the plays run again because it's just so beautiful, and I could watch this all day, is there's a potential need at defensive tackle. Ali McNeil is going to miss the first part of the season. We don't know if we're going to pay Levi Onwuzurike, extend him or not. Mekhi Wingo, he showed some things, but I'm not sure how good he's going to be, and he got hurt as well. Darius Alexander, to me, if he falls to 28, is an absolute pick. And if you want to pair it with last week, if you get Darius Alexander at 28 and Josiah Stewart at 60, that to me is an absolute home run of a draft, at least at the top end, and I think it will do wonders to augment whatever ails the Lions on the defensive line.
And I know we see what he's doing here at diagnosing, and getting after the quarterback. Just really quickly about his ability to play in the run stuffing game as well, man.
Oh, yeah. You see it, whether it's a double team, whether it's diagnosing plays, whether it's just on the last highlight, just putting a guard, just throwing him to the side like he's nothing and stuffing the run in the backfield. You love to see it. His run defense grade was one of the best amongst defensive tackles in this class. He's really got it all. And I think that he projects to be I don't want to say multiple-time All-Pro. My pro comp, and this is one that I've seen also on certain websites, and I think this is accurate. My pro comp for Darius Alexander is a better David Onyemata. David Onyemata is a guy who has played for the Saints. He's played for the Falcons. He had 5 consecutive seasons from 2019 to 2023 with over 10 quarterback hits. He had a really great season in 2020, 6.5 sacks, double-digit tackles for loss, 16 quarterback hits. He's just as solid as they come, and 4 seasons with a PFF grade over 80. I think he's got similar size, 6'4", a little over 300 pounds. And I get it. David Onyemata, it's not necessarily the sexy name, but if the Lions were to draft a David Onyemata quality player at 28 and put him on this defensive line, I think that's really all you need. And I think Darius Alexander, him as a prospect, was much better and much more hyped than what David Onyemata was, because David Onyemata unfortunately had the opposite of privilege, the burden of coming from Canada, which, hey, the Lions know something about that, Giovanni Manu, but I think the season that David Onyemata had in 2020, the 6.5 sacks, the 16 tackles for loss, the 10 quarterback hits, that's about what you can expect from Darius Alexander to me at his peak, and I think he will give you that more consistently than David Onyemata did. KG.
Yeah, now, Sam, he looks great in the run game, like absolutely great. I do worry whether he can consistently be, great in the pass rush.
Sure.
Do you think that, he's somebody that you can rely on in terms of passing downs?
I think in terms of, I get your concern. It's not perfect. The sack numbers and the hurry numbers don't necessarily wow you. This is where I think coaching is going to really play a big factor. Get him with Casey Rogers and get him really going, because he does have a great swim move. He does have power. He does have explosion. I think, and I wonder why Toledo, and I wonder if this highlight will circle its way back down, but even if it doesn't, I'll just explain it again. The one where he lines up kind of on the outside, but he has an outside linebacker lining outside of him, where he can just have a head start going at the guard and just using all of that power and explosion. I don't understand why Toledo didn't do that with him more, because it seemed unstoppable. That's where I think a coach can get the most out of him. Put him in those type of formations.
I was going to ask that just to follow up on KG's questions. Like, what was the kind of the defensive schemes and the players he was playing with compared to knowing he's probably going to get less attention if he was on this Lions defensive line than at Toledo?
Well, at Toledo, unfortunately, being at Toledo, you're the man. Last year, I mean, hey, Toledo had themselves a bit of a squad on defense with him and Quinyon Mitchell. But Toledo's, to their credit, they've been a good, mid-major style team. I think they had 9 or 10 wins last year. They won their bowl game against Pittsburgh, in which Darius Alexander had a 58-yard pick six, by the way.
Players go there to get tape so they can either go to another team or, just try to perfect their tape for the draft.
The talent that he's going to play with on an NFL team is obviously greater, and we'll see how that affects him, because coming in as a rookie, he's probably not going to get all the reps, but he's also not going to get all the attention.
Yeah.
Because especially if he goes to the Lions, if he's lined up next to Aleem McNeil, who are they going to key in on? DJ Reader.
Last question. Do you think that he could possibly be somebody that could spot start for Aleem McNeil in those first 4 to 5 games?
I do.
Okay.
It's because of his size and his measurables and his talent, and especially on this Detroit Lions team. Even if as a pass rusher in the beginning he's not as consistent as you would like, and I would say that's probably his question mark at this point, he is going to be good in the run, I think, from day one. And we know what this Lions defense is built upon. Even in 2023, when they weren't necessarily a good defense, they could stop the run. And Darius Alexander plays the run as well as any defensive tackle in college football not named Mason Graham.
Hey, I like it. I like it.
Yeah, that was thorough. Hey, the back wall too was fire. Did JB help cook that up? Shout out to you, JBSmooovv.
Oh, no problem.
Woodward Sports MVP, man. Anything from you on one Darius Alexander?
I mean, I like him.
From Detroit Junior?
I like him. He looks like a Dan Campbell guy from the tape. I mean, he'll definitely get on this team and improve it as much as it can. So I don't know where he's falling in place of the draft right now. Hopefully it's not a very high pick so we can still scoop him up as well as someone else. But, yeah, definitely on tape. Looks good.
What's that outlook, Flannel?
That's the thing. There is a chance that he's gone. He's, like I said at the beginning, he's according to the PFF big board, which is the big board that I use the most, he's the 23rd ranked prospect. So there's a chance he doesn't fall. He had a really good combine, which was great for him, but maybe not so great for the Lions. I think before the combine, he was seen as maybe fringe first round, early second. Now I'm not so sure. And that's why if he falls, I feel the same way about him that I do about James Pierce and Jahad Campbell, just to go back to other guys we profiled. If any one of those three falls, if you're Brad Holmes, you give your wife the best 2 minutes of her life because you're going to be in the mood, and then you run to you run to the podium and get your pick in. And I think, and maybe it's just me being a little naive, that one out of these three will be available. I think that the one most likely to be available is Darius Alexander. I think there's enough concerns potentially about his consistency in the pass rush, which I don't buy into as much, that maybe he does fall.
Yeah.
You know, that's a great breakdown.
He could be lethal in the pass rush. I'm not saying he doesn't have any ability at all. I just wonder how consistent it can be.
And that's not unfair at this point.
I like his ability to bull rush. You talk about the power, you talk about his explosiveness, and you know what? Some guys, they just have the ability to just run with power. You have to kind of teach them some technique. Some guys have the technique, and you got to get them stronger. It seemed like his base, he already has the combination of the two. And when you're bringing him here with the defensive pedigree this Lions organization has shown, that's where I'm like, all right, you know, some of these players you guys have profiled, I continue to think about the fact that they're going to be paired here with some really good defensive players, defensive linemen. So I expect those guys to be able to not just step in right away and have better with less reps, but I expect them to also learn.
Absolutely.
Really fast.
And speaking of guys that could also be drafted here and also learn, KG's got a guy coming up who I like as well and am happy to hear him profile. So, KG, you're on deck.
All right.
Get ready.
Let's rock. Smash that like button, chat family. Man, great job, Flannel Sam, with the breakdown. I know there's a lot that goes into this. So shout out to you, man, for this breakdown. Toledo defensive lineman Darius Alexander. Chat family, go on ahead, smash that like button, and let us know what you guys think. Darius Alexander to the Lions. What are you thinking? If he falls to the second, or if he falls to the Lions in first?
First. It's till 60. That's why I say Darius Alexander at 28, Josiah Stewart at 60. Call me Flannel Holmes.
Flannel Holmes. JBSmooovv, gotta say what up to some friends, huh?
Yeah, I'll tell them about jars and clean up some super chats that we got going on right now. Once again, shout out to everyone sending those in. JJ sending in $2. He said, bring CD back and add a stud on that D-line easy. Rando Smalls, another $2. He says, didn't Amik shut down Jefferson?
Sure did.
Hey, $1.99 from Mac Walker Jr. Improve the D-line. The back end won't matter as much. And another one from Mike Reed. He says, Sam, what if the Lions trade up for Will Johnson?
They don't need that.
Yes, they do. Yes, they do. Don't you steal my dreams now.
Sorry, man. You don't need to trade up for a corner. I don't think you need to trade up for one. I'll just say that. I love Will Johnson, but I'm good.
I don't think you love him enough, KG.
Of course.
KG,
not enough.
You're a Will Johnson hater over there, man?
Not at all. Not at all. Thank you for your service as a Wolverine, and I hope you go to a good situation in the league. So.
I wouldn't call myself a hater for sure, but I'm definitely not what you would call a Will Johnson enjoyer, because I love Michigan and I love Michigan Twitter, but that account is trash.
Let me tell you about Jars, because Woodward sports fans, whether you're hitting the game or just chilling, Jars Cannabis has you covered. They are home to Michigan's largest line of recreational cannabis products. They've got 27 locations across the state, so you know they're repping Michigan in a very big way. 9 locations alone in Metro Detroit, so there's always one close nearby you. And don't fear, if you live in Grand Rapids, Madison Heights, or Milan, Michigan, stores are popping up very, very soon. But hit up jarscannabis.com so you can see their huge selection that they have as well too, because you know what? I know you want to get high.
How do people feel about getting a Planet Fitness membership for $15 a month? How do they like working out in a clean and spacious gym that's filled with equipment for every workout? And how about free fitness training in the judgment-free zone that leaves them feeling energized all day long? Join Planet Fitness today with the free PF app, online or in club, and start getting that big fitness energy for $15 a month.
A ton of fun, a ton of sports, and a ton of man meat. Welcome to the Woodward Heavyweights, live daily 5 to 7 p.m. on Woodward Sports.
Feldman Chevrolet, Michigan's #1 Chevy dealer, is kicking off the game with the best prices on all cars, trucks, and SUVs, like this 2024 Silverado for just $296 a month, or this 2025 Equinox for as low as $371 a month. Our locations in Novi, Highland, New Hudson, Livonia, and Lansing means we have the perfect Chevy right in your backyard. Get the home team advantage every day at Feldman Chevrolet, Michigan's #1 Chevy dealer.
No one gives away more cash and prizes than Woodward Sports. You don't believe us? Here's our latest $10,000 winner.
You know, you guys posted, hey, if you guess all this stuff right, we'll give it's $10,000. I'm like, okay, well, why the hell not?
And the winning doesn't stop there. How about our Outkick Your Coverage winner?
I think you won. We got Tully, everybody. This guy's got a hot girl.
Bigger prizes, bigger giveaways, cash, merch, tickets, and more. All from the biggest sports network in Detroit. No one does it bigger and better than Woodward Sports. Make sure you're following, liking, subscribing on Instagram, Facebook, X, and YouTube for your chances to share in the winning. From Detroit's #1 sports network, Woodward Sports.
It's the Les Stanford Sign and Drive sale. Get a 2024 Envision for only $239 per month, or try out the 2025 Sierra Crew Cab Elevation for only $249 per month. Don't forget about the 2025 Hummer EV SUV for only $789 per month. $0 security deposit, $0 due at signing, $0 first payment, $0 acquisition fee. Get to Les Stanford today and check out their massive inventory at the Sign and Drive sale. Les Stanford, Buick and GMC, lesstanford.com.
Hey, you know what? There we are. And we are back. It's another draft, a profile breakdown. We got KG who's going to be stepping up here today to talk to us about somebody who has a lot of, great state of pure Michigan flavor to his game. He's played a lot of football in this state. He went out west and put on, and now he has himself in a position to be, one of the best taken on draft day. Talk to us today, man. Who you talking about?
Yeah, of course, we all know Derek Harmon. We should be very familiar with this guy. This is somebody that Stick liked a lot, so I decided to do a profile on him because we do know that we need interior defensive line help. And when you look at this guy's tape, I mean, I don't know what the hell Michigan State was doing, JB. I really don't know. They missed out on it.
They fumbled the bag on
this.
Yeah,
they missed out on the gym here. But of course,
for what, 3 years?
Yeah. So of course, I want to go through, just the background story first, because I feel like culture-wise, he is a perfect fit for this Lions locker room. We all know Loyola High School. He's a local kid. Went to MSU for, I believe, 3 years before he transferred over to Oregon, and just had an amazing last season there with Oregon. And a feel-good story. We love Hutch because of not only was he a hometown guy, but because of the story. And with this guy, Derek Harmon, his mother was going through or is still battling cancer. Real tough battle with that. He took a lot of his NIL money to help her out with that. I believe he bought her a home and things of that nature. So you love the story on this kid. Like I said, he's a local guy, probably been a Lions fan his whole life, so he understands what it means to be a part of Detroit and be a part of that Lions culture, man. So I would love to get a guy like this in this locker room.
Man, you know what his listed weight is on the profile?
310.
313 now.
313?
313.
Hey,
talking about Detroit through and through.
Hey, for real. I had him listed as 310 on here, and my apologies, I did not get a chance to get any combine information on this one. But when you see this guy's,
they wanted to update that mug. I was like, that's ironic.
When you see this guy's tape, it just pops off the screen. I got a lot of pros and cons on him. I think the pros do outweigh the cons. But before I get into that, like you said, 6'5", 313 now. A very unique build for a defensive tackle. And he's somebody that's got some wheels. Like, don't let the size fool you. He got some pickup. He can close out pretty well in terms of, tracking running backs and mobile quarterbacks, dare I say. He's somebody that you don't really worry. He's versatile. And that's something that the Lions, pride themselves on getting. They love versatile players. He's somebody that is not only dominant in the run game, but his pass rushing upside, I believe, could go to the next level. But just a few stats going from 2022, 30 total tackles, 2 sacks, 3 TFLs, and 1 pass defended. Pay attention to those passes defended now. 2023, 40 total tackles, 1.5 sacks, 4 TFLs, and 1 pass defended. Those both years at Michigan State. Yeah. When he got to Oregon, that's when the explosion happened. 45 total tackles, 5 sacks, 11 TFLs, and 4 passes defended with 2 forced fumbles.
Boy put on when he went out west.
Yeah, man.
That's why we're trying to get to Vegas.
I don't know whether it was just the system with Dan Lanning and, everything they had going on over there, but he absolutely, jumped off the page. And then when you add 55 QB pressures and 43 QB hurries to that.
Well, wait. So he's getting after the QB and he's also defending passes?
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah,
trust me.
We gonna break it down some more. But like I said, 55 QB pressures and 43 QB hurries to that stat line. That's pretty mean in terms of a pass rush.
Sometimes players, they just have to mature. It's like they have the right stuff underneath the hood, but sometimes you got to have that right mechanic that can help them. And sometimes it's just them. Getting to that certain age, getting away from home and stepping into that responsibility. That's been great for a lot of players, young players trying to step to that next level. And I do think that he's one of those guys that has.
Yeah, I think he can come in day one and hit the ground running, especially when you look at a Casey Rogers and you look at Kelvin Shepard, some of the things they may want to employ on this defensive line. I think he can come in day one and easily spot start for Aleem McNeil. And they have similar prototypes. I wouldn't exactly call them the same type of player, but he's coming in with a pass rushing ability that's, kind of already really good. As, Aleem, he kind of had to develop that over his time as a Lion. But real quick, I'm going to just go over the pros and cons. One of my pros here is he can be an anchor on the defensive line. And by anchor, I mean he can cover and close gaps and command double teams. And we see that a lot with DJ Reader in terms of the run game, being able to command double teams. He steps into that gap, can stop the run instantly. Yeah. But his tracking ability in terms of tracking running backs, getting lost in the shuffle, is really good as well. He has a really fast first step that I think catches people by surprise because of his size, and he has, like I said, great agility for just how big he is. So that's something that you like about him. Helps him win at the point of attack against most guards and collapses pockets from the inside on passing downs. So if you can generate that pressure from the middle, we all know how detrimental that is to any quarterback, not just a Jared Goff, but even in terms of a mobile quarterback. If you can get to him through the middle first and your ends are coming around, that kind of limits what they're able to do in terms of creating plays outside the pocket.
I like that. It just continuing to be, and this is what I like the theme out of both of you all's players, and maybe he's one that's shown it even a little bit better, is their ability to collapse the pocket when you're talking about mobile quarterbacks out there. If these guys are helping the Lions be able to neutralize that much better and be able to spring players like whether it's Zadarius on the edge or whether it's Aiden Hutchinson on the edge, along with being like a wrecking ball in the middle of that line, hey, that's what you need on this, right?
Yeah, absolutely. Just a few more. Also helps him beat certain protections and zone running schemes. He seems to be really good at diagnosing zone running schemes. He has no problem dealing with like pulling guards and things of that nature. So that's something that you like to see out of a young tackle coming into the league. And he moves pretty well laterally. He knows how to disengage fast. I think that's another key quality that you need in a young player, somebody that's not only going to engage but knows when to disengage and kind of
on the run.
Exactly, and be able to shift to the next part of the play. closeout speed in the backfield is underrated. And you'll see that in some of the tape that I provided. Just him against who I feel is a couple mobile quarterbacks. It's actually pretty impressive, man. He has elite strength, too. He's probably one of the strongest defensive tackles in this class. And he can beat you with an outright bull rush. And I know that's something that you're a big fan of, the bull rush. I would like to see him maybe not rely on it as much at the next level. He can use his hands, and that is one of my cons as I step over into the cons. But first, he has to stop relying on arm tackles. That was a big problem for him. And listen, he had a missed tackle.
Running backs in the north.
Yeah, no, for real. So these are the things that you kind of have to, develop in terms of what he can provide. He has to stop relying on the arm tackles. He had a 19% missed tackle rate in his college career. So that's something that you have to pay attention to. Even in his last season, he had 12 missed tackles. So he has to clean that up. Like I said, he tends to rely on his elite strength a little bit too much. At the NFL level, you're going against craftier guys. You're going to have to find ways to beat some of these tackles and some of these guards with your hands. And it's not to say he can't use his hands, but you would like to see him develop that a little bit more.
Some more technique. And
exactly.
That's where when you guys are talking about Casey Rogers being here, and we know the prowess that a Kelvin Shepherd has. This is what was cool about the Spagnuolo comments about Kelvin Shepherd, is that he said he knew everybody's position. It wasn't just from the perspective of a linebacker, but he was a leader in that locker room, effectively leading in trying to help all of the, from a defensive standpoint, get better defensive line, secondary, and linebackers. And that's where I am hopeful for a guy who he went to Oregon. We saw him take a step in production, step in technique a little bit, and be put in a better position to succeed. I do believe that the Lions have that ecosystem here in that atmosphere within the organization to help these types of young players.
No, absolutely they do. And you're not going to put a lot on him too early. But he is somebody that I think could possibly be a starter for you in the future. And just last two cons that I had on him, he has to work on not losing contain. That is something that he struggled with a little bit. And like you said, at the next level, you're going against some of these savvier quarterbacks in terms of making plays out of the pocket. So while his closeout speed is good, you don't want him to miss that tackle at the point of attack. So he has to get better with that. And motor,
you've seen that too much, Derek Barnes.
Yeah. And his motor can run cold, and causing him to get stood up in terms of pass rushing. And I don't mean motor running cold from a standpoint of always not trying out there. It's just sometimes when he gets fatigued, he tends to stand up a little too tall, and you don't want to do that at the NFL level because they'll jam you up and you won't go anywhere. But Chase, you can go ahead and roll that tape for me, please. I have some some examples of his play. His pro comparison was Daquan Jones, so keep that in mind. But you see him circled right there in the middle, and just look how good he is in the pass rush, man. I'm telling you, if he can develop some hand moves, and he does have like a heavy cross chop that he tends to use, but I would like to get him a little more versatile in terms of what he can use when he's trying to shed off blocks. But you see it right there, man. And this is one where he got a strip as well, so he came up with the football right here.
Really he had the ball.
Yeah, on Quinshon Judkins, man. So this is what you want to see. And here you see him circle right there in the middle. I believe this is going against Penn State, but I could be wrong. But look at that tackle right there. Look at that closeout speed. Well. Yeah, man. It is, and you see how fast he got to him. This is a guy that can get out and run. He took a little long holding the ball. Here's a play against Michigan right here. Look how quickly he gets in the backfield on Donovan Edwards. That is nasty right there. That is nasty. And I know he was relatively unblocked, but if you want to, try and if you want to chip this guy, it's going to be a mistake, man. As you see him here, oh my God, look how he blows up that play.
He's able to get out of engagement. Dog,
yeah, bro, and combine that with the strength, bro. It's absolutely amazing. Here he is, circled at the bottom of your screen right here, and they're playing him on the other side of the field. Look how he diagnoses this, and this is an option play.
Got that IQ.
Yeah, this is an option, like a jet sweep type of play, but he diagnosed it very, very quickly. That's what you want to see, in a young player. Ooh. There, he disrupts a pass. I'm telling you, his pass rushing ability is something that you want to see out of a young interior interior pass rusher, because that's normally something that you have to develop at the next level. He's already got that
finesse on that one, though.
Yeah, man. Here's another play right here. Sorry, this highlight tape is a little long, but it's a lot of good plays in here. And just like I said, he's versatile. He can play in the run. He can definitely play in the pass. He needs a little bit of development, but we have the right kind of culture here to where he'll step in and he'll make an impact, I believe, in his rookie season.
And I get these are highlights. We're not going to play the low lights, so it's all going to look good.
Yeah.
But seeing what he does good is what should excite everybody, especially if you know that our guys here have what you need.
Yeah, this was an example of a pass he defensed. He kind of tipped this ball, if you can see. Look at that, man. But he's somebody that, you know, when he's beating on a play, he gets his hands up, and that's why he has so many passes defensed. That is also something that you normally get out of veteran players, but he's doing that already at, you know, a rookie level. That's something that you want to see. He has the wherewithal to be able to put his hands up when he can't get home, and that's something that you want to see.
We talk about it in basketball as well with the defense. Do they have that instinct in the paint?
Here's another one right here.
Has instinct.
Yeah, that's another one against Aiden Childs, man, where he kind of blocked the pass. But that's Derek Harmon, man, hometown kid, great story. I feel like he would be a great fit for this Lions defensive line. And just you know, overall thoughts.
Well, I'm telling you, what just jumps out is the IQ. You know, because there are people who can have all the skills and all the tools, and if they don't have the IQ or even know where to be, it can affect things for them. But this is a guy who you see him diagnosing those plays. You see him diagnosing like the fake handoffs and all that stuff within the RPOs. And for him to be able to kind of key in, you see him go through all of the different progressions and then right after the quarterback or right after the runner. That to me is what jumps off, because when you have that IQ, then you see all of his speed being used to make the right play. Yeah. Now you're seeing all of his force and his physicality being used to make the right play, rather than like overrunning, which we've been accustomed to over the last, maybe, well, not last season as much, but before. Right. We saw that for the first couple years of the Dan Campbell era.
He cleaned up them arm tackles. I'm telling y'all got a guy that can hit the ground day one. But Flannel, you liked him. You said.
Oh, yeah.
What do you take away from this?
I take away that he is as explosive as they come, kind of in the same way that Darius Alexander is. Just I always remember – I remember that Donovan Edwards tackle for loss like it was yesterday, because of course I do. Just even though – yeah, it's not like he was keyed in on to block him, but he got there just was
very
on
quickly.
Donovan Edwards before he could even look up for a 6-yard loss, and you saw him in the pass rush. I like the fact that he gets his hands up as well, because those can turn into picks.
Absolutely.
Those can kill drives, especially if you do it on like a 3rd or a 4th down. And the thing that I have to ask you, KG, is if Derek Harmon falls to 28 and Brad Holmes picks him, is that an A+ draft pick?
Absolutely. Absolutely. Because I know right now they do have people a little bit higher above him, but he is somebody that is projected to be late 1st round or definitely early 2nd. Like if he's around in the 2nd round, he's one of the first 2 or 3 players off the board if you're a smart NFL franchise.
He's one of those guys, then what you're telling me is there might be some guys you're saying are above him because of maybe their polish.
Yeah.
But all the foundation here, it's like if you believe in your development, isn't he a guy that you say, like you say in that 1st round, you could take that?
No,
chance?
absolutely. The question comes, you know, he did all this in his last season with Oregon. So there might be questions as to, is this a flash in the pan? Is this somebody that, you know, once he gets to the NFL level, these guys can out-technique him? Those are some of the questions that, you know, NFL GMs and talent evaluators have to take into consideration, because we did only really see this kind of production for 1 year. Maybe it was because of the scheme. Is it just because of the scheme? Is it just because of a different situation that he was in on a better team? We don't know.
That's the thing, man. True. Like, you got to take into account. In 2022, it was Mel Tucker. In 2023, it was Mel Tucker before the incident. Then it was Harlan Barnett, who is not a head coach in any way, shape, or form. You bring him to Oregon, you give him Dan Lanning, you give him his staff. Obviously, you're going to thrive, because with all due respect, JB, especially in the last few years, Michigan State is a crappy program that was in a lot of turmoil.
Yeah.
And Derek Harmon was a part of that.
It
and
was a crappy program.
Yeah, right.
Yeah.
Objectively, just like Michigan basketball was last year. And you saw it with Derek Harmon, and you also saw it with Simeon Barrow. Once they go other places, they just look a lot better. And I think that Oregon's Oregon Derek Harmon is closer to the player that he's going to be in the NFL than the Michigan State Derek Harmon, who was good, by the way, just didn't have a lot around him.
Yeah, and JB, I do want to get your thoughts since you're the state guy in the room, but even as a rotational guy at MSU, he did make some plays. I just don't know whether, Mel Tucker just didn't have the belief in him or whatever the case may be, but he goes to Oregon, he explodes like that, and he is looking at maybe being a first-round pick in this draft.
That's what I think it is right there. As you said as well, too, Kool-Aid, the maturity. Like you said, you go to somewhere else, you were nice, comfy, and cozy home here at MSU. But also, I think Mel Tucker kind of just messed that up completely. Didn't have a spot for him. Didn't have any faith in him at all. I'm sorry that you wasted a little bit of your collegiate career here at MSU, and you didn't really get the most out of it. But you popped up in Oregon, and that's an amazing spot, honestly, to get spotlighted and have a lot of talent and a lot of coaching staff help you out to get to where you need to be, especially if it is the NFL. He is going to have to step up his game a little bit more just because you only got the 1 year big stats out of him at Oregon. So, as you said, KG, this might be a flash in the pan, but I don't think it is. I definitely think he has some raw talent that coaching staff just are waiting to tap into once he gets to the NFL.
I agree.
I'm looking across just the spectrum of Detroit sports, including our colleges. I'm so glad that local players can want to grew up here or have some connection here, can actually want to be here and they're going to get taken care of. Because you're right, man. He had to put the apology out there like, my bad, bro.
Right, we wasted you.
But you look at them now, both Michigan and Michigan State basketball and football, they got some program builders there. And you look at the sports pro teams, you have local players saying, I want to be here.
Yeah, and best believe if you're the Lions, you are looking in your backyard. And there's a lot of great talent in your backyard, and this guy could be one of them, man. I think he comes in, he fits this culture absolutely perfectly.
Yep, and for the record, just checking up the PFF big board again, the only two defensive tackles who are rated higher than him are Mason Graham and Kenneth Grant.
There you go.
And then it goes Derek Harmon, then it goes Darius Alexander. So my view on it is, and maybe I'm a little biased for my show, you can't go wrong with either one of the guys. Whether it's Darius Alexander, whether it's Derek Harmon, bring both of them home. Toledo, Michigan State, they're as good as home, right?
Hey, y'all been getting me hype about these players, and now I'm just sitting here like, but are they going to beat her at 28? But I know you guys have some more breakdowns, so I'm gonna wait. I'm gonna wait, man. But so far, I'm all on board with everybody that you guys have broken down, and I'm hoping that the Detroit Lions have an opportunity to grab either one of these players that you guys profiled today.
I think it's funny in a lot of our comments and some of our clips, I'm seeing a lot more Landon Jackson in there. Hey. So I'm just saying.
You're right, KG.
But I just you said it. You think that he's playing himself out of the ability for the Detroit Lions to even have an opportunity to pick him?
Maybe. And this could be a guy, too. He could go earlier than 28, but it's yet to be seen.
Combine, man.
Yeah. Combine changes a lot.
It does. And that's where at least I'm glad that we know the approach that Brad Holmes takes to this. He's put his strategy out there. Look, guys, we take a lot of what they do on film. It's just now you're seeing those diamond in the rough guys do it on film, and they're crushing at the combine with insane size. I don't understand now. When you look at these guys that are 6'3", 6'4", 6'5", 300-plus pounds.
That's crazy.
You see the speed that they have, like one little juke move in there in the backfield getting your quarterback. Yeah, I want that on the Detroit Lions.
Absolutely.
Great job, Flannel Sam. Sam Reynolds. Let me be correct, man. Y'all
the
brought
government
professionally today. And
Samuel.
I'm putting yours out there, too.
Kenneth.
And Kenneth.
Yeah.
Man. No, y'all, great job. Like we said,
appreciate
since
that.
you got here, we knew you were a ball knower. You've been holding down ball knower status for a while as well. Can't wait to the next one.
Yeah, for sure.
Can't wait to the next one. Great job, y'all.
Oh, yeah.
What friends we got to talk to? One, JBSmooovv.
You got to let them know to follow us on all socials.
You know what? Stay connected. Stay connected. There are giveaways. Obviously, you guys know the content, and we keep you all informed of all of the breaking news across all social platforms. All of them. Every single social media platform you can think of. Well, just about. Follow us at Woodward Sports. Facebook, X, Instagram, YouTube, Twitch, and TikTok for all the latest updates and sports news, live updates, behind-the-scenes action. I know today you're going to see a lot of action from us today. Buddies is on board with Woodward Sports. We got a pizza party today to celebrate, and it's going to be a lot of content that hits the social media accounts. So don't miss out. Hit that follow button now and be a part of Detroit's #1 digital sports network at Woodward Sports Everywhere.
How do people feel about getting a Planet Fitness membership for $15 a month? How do they like working out in the clean and spacious gym that's filled with equipment for every workout? And how about free fitness training in the judgment-free zone that leaves them feeling energized all day long? Join Planet Fitness today with the free PF app online or in club and start getting that big fitness energy for $15 a month.
Love Woodward Sports? Love wearing clothes? Then you should be wearing Woodward Sports clothes. Check out our full line of merch at woodwardsports.com. Just click on shop. We have all your favorite designs, like Dan Campbell kneecaps, Woodward golf, and of course, our own logoed out merchandise. Men, women, infants, kids all love Woodward Sports. Impress your friends. Impress your boss. Impress your dog. Buy Woodward Sports merch today.
Feldman Chevrolet, Michigan's #1 Chevy dealer, is kicking off the game with the best prices on all cars, trucks, and SUVs, like this 2024 Silverado for just $296 a month, or this 2025 Equinox for as low as $371 a month. Our locations in Novi, Highland, New Hudson, Livonia, and Lansing means we have the perfect Chevy right in your backyard. Get the home team advantage every day at Feldman Chevrolet, Michigan's #1 Chevy dealer.
No one gives away more cash and prizes than Woodward Sports. You don't believe us? Here's our latest $10,000 winner.
You know, you guys posted, hey, if you guess all this stuff right, you know, we'll give it's $10,000. I'm like, okay, well, why the hell not?
And the winning doesn't stop there. How about our Outkick Your Coverage winner?
I think you won. We got Tully, everybody. This guy's got a hot girl.
Bigger prizes, bigger giveaways, cash, merch, tickets, and more. All from the biggest sports network in Detroit. No one does it bigger and better than Woodward Sports. Make sure you're following, liking, subscribing on Instagram, Facebook, X, and YouTube for your chances to share in the winning. From Detroit's #1 sports network, Woodward Sports.
Hey, Feldman Chevrolet of Novi, Detroit's #1 Chevrolet dealer and the Chevrolet dealer of the year for 6 consecutive. That's a 6-peat, guys. Who knows what a 6-peat is like? Feldman does.
Not 2 3-peats.
Yes.
But a 6-peat.
A 6-peat.
Jordan couldn't even do that.
Jordan couldn't even. I don't even think Bill Russell did that. Maybe he did, but that's neither here nor there. Hey, deals up. And they've got deals of the month right now. Get a 2025 Chevy Silverado for just $213 per month lease. My goodness, that's a steal. You can also get a 2025 Chevy Equinox for only $286 a month. Come see George Hawes and his team at Feldman Chevrolet of Novi.
Hey, and we are back at this Wake Up Woodward and Chat family. You guys have been epic today. Thank you guys for all that you do to support Wake Up Woodward, the entire Woodward Sports Network. Go ahead and smash that like button if you haven't gotten the opportunity to. We're getting on now to everybody's favorite segment. That's What's Trending with JBSmooovv. Let's spark up Word to Jars, my brother.
Word to Jars.
And now it's time for the most electrifying segment on the internet. Bum, bum, bum. It's What's Trending with JB. Live on Wake Up Woodward.
JBizzo.
Let's rock.
What's going on, chat family? What's up, fellas? I got a couple videos for you today, but first off, you know what? I just gotta applaud the ingenuity here of trying to play pool while at work or at home on your laptop.
Wait.
What?
What?
Oh, snap. What?
I don't understand what's happening here.
I'm so confused. Like, well, so he rigged it to be, he taped it to the mouse.
Yeah, he taped it to the mouse because you use the mouse to like control your
pool
stick. So
and then he broke his laptop.
I like the ingenuity, and then backfired.
Hey, and I'll tell you what, and I get it that we rely on it a lot, but so do a lot of jobs, especially with remote work. A laptop is a lifeline. If you break that, you're kind of effed for a while until you can get it fixed or get a new one. So R.I.P. this guy's productivity for at least a day. It's the worst feeling.
It is the absolute worst feeling. And I got to ask Spinny when he gets in, what day it is for him, whether it's arms, chest, backs, legs, or whatever. But if it is legs, I'm not too sure he wants to try this new exercise.
Oh, boy.
What if it's January 1st of the year?
Why?
In the Timbs,
Why?
though. Oh my God.
JB.
Is that a cinder block?
Do we need a trigger warning?
No, you're good. You're good.
Okay.
but my man is out here at the gym doing the leg.
You know what? He's earned
like
a tough
this.
guy in training shirt.
Yeah.
He did not have something catastrophic happen.
This is that fresh out workout. I've been in jail for about 10 years, and this is how I used to work out in the bed.
Fresh out of
I
jail.
used to hang from the ceiling and do stuff like this.
This is crazy.
Damn.
I used to do leg pull-ups.
You got a cinder block in fucking Tim's, man. Come on.
I never forget that clip of the prison Olympics.
Yeah. it's different in there, man.
I was like, boy, don't wind up in there.
It's different in there, man.
They was jumping from the second floor. They was climbing up things. They were
Yeah.
doing pull-ups. It's like, goodness.
It's a jail workout for sure.
Like I said, I gotta ask Spinny, if he's on to that new exercise or not. But maybe that's just
I
me.
wonder if Spinny be there in his Timbs.
You think?
Do he be there in his boots?
We should
He's
ask
do
him.
some content like that, man.
We should definitely ask him though. I don't know, but you ever wanted to get your shots up, but you still gotta handle some business though when you get home? Well, it's an easy solution. My man is getting shots up while he's pooping.
Hey, that's smart. Your bathroom's small as shit though.
Is this the way to go? Is this the future now?
Hey, you know what? Dropping twos. Let's go.
I'd much rather have a TV and a video game controller in there. But I mean, I'll take this though. It's a nice way to pass the time for somebody that likes to be in the bathroom a little bit on the longer side, like myself.
Yeah, a little bit too longer. You're not on your phone, but,
Right.
Getting your shots up.
Yeah.
What is he recording with? My man don't got a GoPro in the bathroom, does he?
He might have the Ray-Bans with the little camera in them.
Ben, I appreciate you for not looking down, my brother.
Right, please.
Do you guys remember those like small TVs with like the built-in VHS in them?
Yeah.
We used to have one of
I
those.
used to watch my game for
Yeah, we used to have one of those in our bathroom. And you'd hit
Funny
play
story
on the
about
remote, and you'd end up just sitting there watching 20 minutes of a movie. So,
Dog.
Whoever passes the time.
I remember the little kitchen TVs.
Yeah.
Y'all remember those?
Yep.
I used to catch so many Lions games on that mug.
Yeah,
man.
the little 20-inch.
I was supposed to be doing chores and everything. My mom didn't get it. Like, if my dad was going on like a business trip, I'm like, Mom, the Lions are on. She's like, go upstairs and clean your room, take the little TV, put the game on. She come in, throw something on top of it. One time, she's like, your room ain't even cleaned up. Went over and picked it up, and the TV was under there with the Lions game on. I was like, my bad.
Yeah. The only problem with this is if you brick and you got shit in your ass. Like, I don't. Like, how do you do that? Do you just let the ball go? Like,
It's just chaos.
Yeah. I'm just saying, man.
Just complete chaos.
You got to be Steph Curry with that. You got to be Steph Curry with that motherfucker.
Because your natural instinct is to go.
Right. Let's go for the board. Like,
We can't help it. Hooper's life, man.
yeah, man. Like,
Don't do it. Don't do it.
Yeah, I can't have this in the bathroom.
yeah, no.
Casey makes a great point.
Don't do it. Don't do it, y'all. Just don't do it. And finally, I will end what's trending with this. To me, this looks like a clean rep, but I'll let you guys be the judge on it. So let me know.
Oh, God. Not the shake on it. You know my man can't do
Tough
it.
guy in training.
You know he can't do it.
That's 3 plates
He's
up there
small
on
as
each
hell.
side.
And
Yeah.
Oh!
No! Oh!
all his friends let him do that.
He thought he was gonna squat that. He
Someone
can't
said-
hold on his back.
You dab me up. Yeah, I got you. And I wind up like that.
Oh!
We're not friends anymore. What?
That was one. That was one. He got 2 more. He got 2 more to do.
No, come on, bro. No.
Wait, he's doing it again?
No way. This got to be the same rep. Yeah.
Yeah, it's the same rep, but like, see, that was one. That was one. That was clean, right?
No, not at all. He almost broke his fucking neck.
One more time.
Oh my God.
What the heck? Who is encouraging him, dog?
It's his people. It's his friends.
I got you.
They're not his friends.
Do you think
dog.
somebody told him like you can't do that, and he's like,
That's why they bet on it. He lost that bet quick as hell. He lost that bet.
and he thought he was gonna squat that.
Right. That's that. I've been talking. We've been talking all day at gym class. Like, bro, I can do it. No, you can't. Yes, I can, dog.
Randall Small said the bar weighs more than him.
No,
probably, yeah. The real bars are like 60 pounds.
Yeah, he would have trouble with just the bar, let alone the plates, man.
Goodness.
Come on, man. TGTs, bro. Get it together.
Like, look how thin his calves are.
I was going to say, those look like.
He didn't even take the right approach. He stood up way too tall. Like, it's just, come on, man. You're going to hurt yourself, man.
Oh, man. Boy, I hope he's okay.
I hope he's okay, too. But that's it for what's trending. You guys hop into some mailbag.
Yeah, we got all our businesses taken care of. So,
oh, yeah.
Hey, dope. So it's time for the Wake Up Woodward Mailbag segment presented by Feldman Chevrolet of Novi. Hey, get those Feldman questions in. And you know what? I do have just a quick question, I guess, for you and Cavassier Chase. Just a Red Wings one. How you feeling right now?
If they win tonight, I'm feeling a lot better. If they lose tonight, we are officially on danger, Will Robinson. In terms of them making the playoffs, whether your playoffs are bust or not, that's up to you. But this schedule is just so difficult. You're going to play Carolina twice again. You play Vegas a couple times. You play Washington a couple times, Florida a couple times at the end of the year. So you got to win the ones that you're supposed to win. But at the same time, Utah, I've talked about them even recently. Probably
Utah Hockey Club.
Yeah, probably irresponsibly. Like they're some trash team. They're really not. They're right there. I mean, they're in a different conference, but they've got, I think, 63 points, unless they won last night, which I'm not sure about, and the Red Wings have 66. It's not like they're playing the Sharks or the Blackhawks. Utah can win, but they better not, or else things get a little dicey.
What's that key tonight, man?
The key, I would say we need a better goaltending, that is for sure, and we need more from the top line. Dylan Larkin and Lucas Raymond, their scoring has dried up a bit, and with the injuries to Kopp and Rasmussen, you need the great players to be great. So I would say top line scoring and goaltending.
What up, Del Cavassier?
I'm still feeling hopeful for this team, but I mean, still trying to keep like a realistic outlook as well with the stretch that we have ahead in these last 20-some games left on the schedule. What I want to see more is physicality. If you guys remember back, and I kind of crashed out a little bit when we lost to the Sharks. I was complaining about the team not being physical enough, and I was kind of calling for some of our defensemen and guys like Mo Sider to kind of step up and be more physical and be those leaders that we need. And I kind of heard some of those same sentiments being echoed yesterday on Big D Energy and on the heavyweights from some other people here at the network. So hopefully, we just see some more toughness and more physicality out of these Wings, regardless of how many pucks they put in the net. You can't go out there and get bullied.
Yeah, I see Hoof Hearted, my favorite name from the chat. He says Ras is back tonight.
Okay. If Rasmussen is back, that is absolutely huge. I knew that there was a chance. Love to hear that. And that's the thing with Utah is that, like I said, you can say what you want about them. Clayton Keller's got more points than anybody on the Red Wings does, and their top shot blocker and one of their best defensemen is Ian Cole. He is very formidable. So this is by no means a gimme, but with the where they are in the standings and what they have coming up, the Red Wings really have no choice but to win if you want to still feel good about their playoff chances. Not saying that you can't overcome it, but it's going to be real difficult. You got to win the games you're supposed to.
We also traded them Oli Mata earlier in the year, defenseman who, a lot of people talked a lot of trash on in the offseason, and he actually made the Four Nations team for Finland. So
you were a big Oli Mata defender, so shout out to you.
He wasn't as bad as people made him out to be.
That's 100% fair.
Yeah.
Hey, and you know what? I see a couple mailbag questions have gotten here into the chat, but there's some people who they have some concerns about this Iser plan as well still. And I know Justin, he's been very consistent as well as your host with Woodward Wings.
Yeah.
Shout out to you guys and what you're doing. Continue to crush. But he's been consistent that this year is not playoffs or bust, and he believes that everything that's been foundation set up is for what's to come ahead. But obviously the expectations for a few years now has been this team should make the playoffs, and they've held that destiny in their hand each time post All-Star break.
Well, and for the record, I've softened a bit on my playoffs or bust stance as long as they show improvement, as long as you can see something tangible. But if they finish the season with heaven forbid, 78 or 80 points, I'll be upset. I'll come in here singing a little bit of a different tone. When I say it's not necessarily playoffs or bust, it's more of like, yeah, they have a good season. It's just a team like the Rangers, for example, or Columbus is just a little bit better. I'm not going to kill them for that.
Feel you.
But we'll see.
I feel you. I had a couple mailbag questions lined up, but this one caught my attention. It jumps the line. Steve, mailbag, Flannel Sam. Right now, Javi is batting .250 with a 900 OPS and 2 RBIs. Is it safe to say that Javi is back?
No, but
no hesitation.
But I will say this, and this isn't pro Javi at all. It is not insane to think that Javi Baez will have a better season than Trey Sweeney. Spenny was getting raked over the coals for it. Trey Sweeney, he was fantastic for what they needed, especially when they first got him, but his numbers really fell off a cliff. His numbers were bad too. They were just less bad than Javi Baez is, and I don't know. I don't think either of them are necessarily going to be great. Either of them are necessarily the answer, but don't be surprised if Javi Baez has better numbers than Trey Sweeney.
What's that? Oh, okay. Reporting live straight from the sound booth. The official Javi Baez watch. KG, what up, though?
There.
I'm not buying it. I need to see it in the season. We all know it's spring training, man. But it is encouraging that he's maybe hitting the baseball a little bit better, but it's yet to be seen during the season. This is why you probably should have went out and got a effing shortstop. Spend some fucking money. You see how many holes we got on this team? I'm sorry, man. I got to get my shit off because I'm concerned. I'm concerned. Parker Meadows, Matt Vierling. You got Sweeney, who might end up going down to AAA.
Bro, it's less than a month away from opening day. Hey, anybody who wants to be upset about these situations,
it's a lot of holes on this
Tigers,
roster. And I'm not trying to get Javi every day again. The way Scott Harris was talking in the offseason, he was talking like Trey Sweeney was going to be the everyday guy.
So we know one of KG's triggers is Javi Baez. What up, JBSmooovv?
No, I was going to say, I think we're going to have to start a watch for both KG and Maz, because Maz is crashing out on the Lions. I think he's about to give up on them because he's not happy that they haven't made any moves yet. And I think KG is upset that we have to still deal with Javi once again. So we got to keep these on watch alert.
More than that, I promise you.
we got to keep these two on watch alert. Just saying.
Oh man, hey Kavasi Chase, you giving Javi Baez an attaboy for spring training?
You better not.
If the rumors that he got LASIK are true,
come on, bro.
As someone without 20/20 vision,
Chase GPT this.
I'm a little jealous.
That ain't gonna help him swing it like he got a motherfucking shovel in his hand.
Hey.
That's not gonna help him swing it.
I wouldn't mind LASIK.
That's the big winner here.
Laser corrective eye surgery.
Wait, and don't they have the sponsorship with the MLB?
I don't know.
There's something that they do every time.
If there's a laser corrective eye surgery here in Detroit, sponsor us. I'll be a spokesperson for you. I'd love to get my eyes corrected.
That's hilarious.
I was just taking a quick gander.
Tired of this shit.
Scott Harris, bring Jose Iglesias home.
Please.
And I'm dead serious.
Please.
He was really good last year for the Mets.
And he's old, but I will take him. Please.
$1.7 million is his projected market value. Bring Jose Iglesias home.
Oh my God! Defensively, that's night and day from. What the fuck
for
we
sure.
got.
Hey, and Jebby, can you make sure Jordan from MI is not hitting? Everything's okay with him. He just had one quick question here. Feldman Mailbag, what do you guys think Ron Holland's ceiling is, and a player comparison of who he could be? And you know what? Ron Holland has shown, I think, a little bit more consistency in that he's going to be able to do what he does best on a night-to-night basis than a lot of people expected. I think some people believe maybe just a rotation guy. I think ultimately the way this team is made up, he will play that role, but his skill set has shown that he can do a lot more than that. He's one of those guys, I believe, that if the usage was called upon from him, he'd be able to handle that, and it's what he showed in pro basketball already, in the G League. So
if he can improve his three-point shot and put on a little bit of muscle, then I feel like he could be a really good 3-and-D guy in this league with the capability of putting the ball on the floor, because we already know he can get to the basket. damn near at will, even as a rookie. And it's really nice to see that out of him. But yeah, I would just encourage, fix that jump shot a little bit and put a little muscle on.
But and the improvement we have seen, it's been because of that. You've seen him put on a little bit of strength. We saw the three be a little bit better than we expected. There were some people who believed we was going to get some type of, sub 20 3-point shooter from behind the arc. Instead, you see a guy who, like JB Bickerstaff, when you look at his free throw motion, and we said this on that draft show, and when we broke him down, when you look at the free throw motion, you can tell that this guy definitely has the 3-point shot. But when I got to talk to some of his people behind the scenes and such, it's just, hey, we believe that the NBA training and development and focus strictly on that perspective is going to help him a lot.
Yeah.
And I do believe we're already seeing those dividends.
And he doesn't have to be a sharpshooter. Like, if you can get him to 31, 32%, now he's a threat because you have to guard it, and then he can take you on the dribble drive.
I think if you're looking at a pro comp, I'll give you Dyson Daniels. I think that's who Ron Holland will end up being at his ceiling, is somebody like Dyson Daniels.
I can see that.
Yeah.
I can see that. And you already see him doing a lot of the same things from a defensive standpoint, but obviously Dyson Daniels is doing it at a level that is probably one of the best in all of the NBA.
Yeah, but his Dyson Daniels rookie year, he wasn't getting a whole lot of minutes or a usage. He had more of a developed, I think, facilitating game than Ron Holland at a younger age, but Ron Holland's not asked to do that on this team, and I think he has that type of ability. So give me Dyson Daniels.
I like that, man. And the one thing I know we were talking about with Ron Holland earlier in the season, especially before Asar Thompson was there, was how well he was playing the swing and the hub role. There were a lot of threes that were being made by Cade and Malik Beasley and even Jaden Ivey, where they would swing the ball to Holland here, and he would either get into the gap and pass it out to the three-point shooter or do the quick swing right away. And I noticed, and we covered early on, how at least swinging the ball towards him was leading to more made shots and his ability to get into the paint and pass to find defenders. I agree. That's a good one with Dyson Daniels.
Yeah, and oh, by the way, our Jose Iglesias dreams are over.
Yeah,
he signed not long ago with the Padres. My bad for not knowing that. When I gave you all hope, he was listed as available on the Spotrac website, but he is not. So there is. If you're looking for a shortstop, nobody's going to save you.
I'm tired of this shit.
Hey, I see Anthony Jones. Ron Holland's ceiling is Jimmy Butler.
Cool.
No.
I like Ron Artest too, who was never a guy that was like a knockdown 3-point shooter.
I can see it.
But two-way player, he had some ability. He could push the tempo a little bit in transition. He could rebound. He could do a little bit of everything.
I think Holland is a little. Yeah, I think Holland is a little better offensively than Ron Artest. But yeah, I can see that comparison.
I'll tell you what though, Ron Artest, before he had the ultimate crash out of crash outs, he was trending to being an all-star player.
Yeah, he was scoring. Yeah. He put up some offensive output that I didn't even think he had possible. But is that a show?
I believe so.
Hey, great job again. I got to call out our ball knowers. They brought that professionality today. One Sam Reynolds and Kenneth Green, KG or Flannel Sam, as you guys might know them. And you know what? It was great breakdowns. Another one. I think that's what number 3 now, and I can't wait until we get to the 4th one as well.
It's a number 2 at the
big board.
We also did a little Jihad Campbell and James Pearson. We'll continue to throw those in there intermittently, especially as mock drafts continue to matriculate their way through the ether.
Let's go, man! Smash that like button for these guys' hard work. Let's get that chest pass going. We'll break this thing down. I shot that one on the move. That was like move, relocate like Beasley.
Hey, yes.
Hey, thank you guys, man. This has been a good show. It's been a fun show. It's been an awesome week. I know we still have one more day to go of shows this week, but it's been fun so far. And I'm hoping that you guys there started off great as well, chat family. Shout out to our brother Matthew Boder and that dude Justin. Cavassier Chase. What up, though, bro?
Hey, what up, though? Hope you guys are having a good day. Stay tapped in. Wings play tonight, so let's go. Big D Energy, I think today they're doing the top 5 list for top 5 fat athletes. Ermanni and Edwards, and I think Anson's in. They're doing their little auction for their cards and the super chats, and then the heavyweights. Who knows, what they might be getting into or putting on the line for for the weekend and whatnot. So stay tapped in. Shout out my dad. Shout out the guys at Seymour Ford. Shout out everyone at Eaton, Mr. Lockridge, my mom's friend Nell, my mom. Hope you guys have a good day.
Do you know who Anson's in with? Any chance?
No, I'm guessing Braylon, but I'm not 100%. I think from when I was listening to them on E&E yesterday doing the clips, Ermanni said that Anson was in Thursday, Friday.
Don't let him get started on Michigan basketball.
Oh
because
my
that man hates Michigan with the fire of 1,000 suns. That makes Spenny's Michigan hate look.
On a Michigan dominated the show. That's gonna be
It's obscene, man.
obscene.
He'll start with Michigan basketball and then get into, Bo Schembechler, like for no reason. Like
No, but all Sparties have 100% have every right to talk shit right now because they're Big Ten champions again, and they're could end up getting the 1 seed for all we know. I wouldn't bet against them.
Shout out Mike Reed and Chase. Says over already. Dang it! Great show, fellas. We appreciate that type
Appreciate
of support,
you, man.
This elite booth. Hey, in the sound booth, we got Detroit's number 1 draft pick. That is KG, aka Black Hollywood.
Yes, sir. You know what it is. Let's finish this week strong, man. Shout out to my team. Love y'all, man. Shout out to everybody in the chat that supports and watches us. We absolutely appreciate it. Let's keep it rolling, man. Let's keep it rolling.
To the TD booth, we talking about Woodward Sports MVP who came in just laughing this morning in his Spartans hat at Michigan basketball demise. But he's still Woodward Sports MVP in our voice of reason. That's JBSmooovv.
Hey, job's not finished. We got Iowa tonight. Take care of business, you guys. Wings play once again. Wings, please. Don't fuck this up. I'm just telling you right now. I went out and bought a lot of Fanatics merch last night because they were having a very big sale. Got a bunch of Red Wing stuff. Once again, shout out to Go Blue Lexi for putting me on that deal as well too. But
Go Blue Lexi.
Yeah, she
one of our Woodward Pistons.
She threw that out there. I was like, oh, I gotta go cop all this. But shout out to her. Wings, don't fuck this up, man.
Look
Just
at
don't.
Flannel face. Like,
Hey, no words.
parlaying with the enemy.
No words.
And let me see here. There was another thing in here, man. Hey, Chuckle Cheese. I like Holland. I like Iguodala.
The fate of the universe on the line. Give me Iguodala.
Hey, you know what, man?
Man, it's a finals
MVP.
He is.
That could be a good comparison too.
Oh, if he becomes Iguodala, we're all doing backflips off this table.
Oh, yeah. Absolutely.
You know
if he
what?
goes Dyson Daniels, we're doing backflips off this table.
Definitely. Dyson Daniels is great. One player he can't solve. Cunningham.
Hey, fair. Fair.
Something K text that was so personal, but
Yeah.
Woodward Sports, the vet of the squad, vet of the network here at Woodward Sports and Wake Up Woodward. That's Flannel Sam, our Red Wings correspondent, all sports nowhere, football nowhere.
Really need the Red Wings to win tonight because I am fan hurt in a lot of ways right now. Michigan basketball kind of took my soul last night, and not feeling too hopeful. And JB, keep laughing at me all you want because right now, send in the clowns.
Randall Smalls, great show, guys. Do something nice today. He said earlier, he says, a great show. I was only called an idiot one time today. I was like, shout out to Randall, man. He's been supporting with the super chats, with the likes, with the comments and everything and engagement. Shout out to you, chat family. I'm telling you, it's what drives us. If you haven't got the chance to hit that like button, it is your boy Brandon Day, aka Detroit Kool-Aid, your credential Pistons reporter and writer for the network. It's been a great show, man. Again, I rock with what you guys have done when the draft prospect stuff hits the channel. Go back and rewatch it to support our guys, KG and Flannel, for what they're doing. And I'm hoping you guys have a great day. It's been Wake Up Woodward.
Yeah, and then you had, of course, Randy Orton make his return. And you got to love the best security team in the motherfucking world of WWE. They were literally going to let KO break Sammy's neck, but somehow when Randy's about to punt him, everybody in the fucking world gets in the ring to stop him. Like, it just makes no sense.